like I just buried that and moved forward. And I never thought I would have to worry about this guy again. And I won't go into details, but I discovered some things I never thought I would discover through her and him. And I left. I'm married to these cousins for a long time. For about 3 years or so, I have been desperately just trying to do everything that I could to fix my marriage, to make her happy, to do what she wanted. And when I closed my mind, I was just always obsessively reading books on marriage, looking at marriage counselors, looking at counselling, for 3 different counselors over 3 years, and both of them, one of them helped. Things weren't great between us, but I loved her, and I wanted things to work. I wanted my girls to grow up in a two-parent household, and I was willing to do anything that I could to make our marriage work. But unfaithfulness was my one thing that I couldn't stop. And when I found out it was all undeniable, I left. This time it was different, and I left, and I was gone for good. There was no begging her to be with me. There was no begging her to make it work. There was none of that anymore. It was just like, I'm done. Let's co-parent. Let's end this. And that made her furious. And when I first discovered all of this, I told my parents and I told one friend. She contacted pretty much every person that I was close to and told them a whole different story. I've seen some of the messages people in my life have gotten about what happened between us. The amount of effort she put into trying to get into the lives of people that meant something to me was just, I'd never experienced anything like that. And it was crazy because when we were together, we used to actually argue over the fact she didn't really put any effort into trying to be friends with the people that were important to me, or, you know, that she didn't really want my friends in our lives all that much. And then when we broke up, it was like, I have to make sure that I take whatever means anything to you from you. And I didn't really have the energy to defend myself from a lot of the stuff that went on.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book 91. We're talking to you guys. If you don't know about them, they were one of the famous interracial couples on YouTube, and you know they had such a huge following, over 1 million followers on YouTube and plus. I think Nikki Thot was also successful in her modeling career as well. You know, and you know they were just one of those couples that, you know, were leading the way in relationships on YouTube. The early days. It's obviously now come out that after 4 years of them being separated and divorced, finally was finalized in March, I believe, just gone. Now Jamie has come out to tell his side of the story. I want to be very honest with you. It's interesting because most people, when the story breaks, that there's a breakup and a separation, both parties tend to try and give their scenario, you know, in real time. A bit like how we saw Latoya Forever and her man as well. We saw that play out in real time and how they went back and forth. In this situation, though, we got to see Jamie a little bit later on. He addressed some rumors 3 years ago and about cheating, and said he wasn't cheating, he wasn't doing those things. But it's only today that he's actually sat down and fully given us a bit more of a perspective in terms of what was happening to him during the course of the relationship. Now, I'm going to try and chop up the video as much as I can to give you guys as much as the viewpoints so you can see them, because he put some receipts in there. Some of them were text, some of them were also a video towards the end as well. But what he's claiming as claims is not just cheating, it's abuse. He's claiming emotional and physical abuse in the relationship. I want to let it go again. He's claiming emotional and physical abuse in the relationship. He claims that she threw things and you know, hit him several times, of course, through the time. Now, I want to be very, very clear. At the time when she released her story, almost 2 years ago, but they've been separated 4 years now. I remember this almost three years ago, sorry. When she released her video, I did a video at the time. I spoke about her situation because when she broke it down from the reason why they're not together per se is she had a God vision or whatever. And that's the reason why they're not together. And I'll play that clip in a second or two. It's just interesting that we're at this point right now, though, that as he breaks down the story, I'm looking at it. I got to look at it and go, well, the receipts are kind of receipting. You know what I mean? The receipts are kind of receipting a little bit. And so, you know, we have to have an honest conversation now. So that means that what Nikki came out with for me then becomes manipulation, because when you came out, you're talking about God and he's not a godly man and you want a godly man to lead you, and you felt like you weren't really getting that from Jamie and all that kind of stuff. And that may have been true. Two truths can be right. But that's not the reason why the relationship's broken up. That's the reason the relationship didn't break up because of that. The relationship broke up, well, according to him, is because your ass was cheating. Okay? Nikki Thot was starting. Okay? Nikki Thot was starting with the ex, and he said he, you know, saw some messages between the two of them, and some other things came out as well. Which means behind the scenes, the brother has been suffering. Okay? Behind the scenes, the brother has been suffering. You know? So for me personally, and again, I'm going to be cautious about what side I take though. I'm not going to try and jump on any particular side as of yet. I'm just going to report what we're seeing. But when I did the video a couple of years ago, I spoke specifically about the fact she had a vision. And I said, just because you have a vision and you see yourself where you are, and you've now come into alignment with that vision, it does not mean that's where God wanted you that it does not mean that's what God wanted for you. What it means that is God is showing you where you're going to be. That doesn't mean that's what he wanted for you. Do you get what I'm saying to you? And I'll play the clip in a video. I did talk about it. I did it almost 3 years ago now. Kind of crazy how long ago I did the video. So it's interesting, you know, to now we're at this point, you know, to see this situation play out the way it's played out. Okay, so we're going to try and skip through the videos and get to the more important parts. But if you're new to the channel, do me a massive favor. We like it, share, and subscribe. Click on that bell button for notification of the uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is, baby. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. Stay hydrated because the streets out there are hot. Listen, we're trying to get to 100K by the end of the year. We want you guys to help us as well. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We'd love for you guys to join the team. But if you want to join the family as well, we have a membership that you guys can join in. And that just helps support the channel on a regular basis. It's £1 or $1. And you can join and you'll see a little green star come before your name. And it just means that you are part of the team. And finally, I want to say is obviously the Patreon is out there as well. So if you love TV shows, you love talking about, you know, reality TV and fictional shows, then our Patreon is there for you guys to discuss many of your topics in there as well. Why should it end just on this live? All right. So let's get the talking, because we're in some situation now. And let me first and foremost provide the video evidence that he provided originally, right? And it was towards the end of the video. Okay. So I'm going to provide the evidence I provided at the very end of the video. Let's go.
But this is it. This is where we're at.
Calm down.
Out of the house, Nikki. Please leave. Please leave. Please leave the house, Nikki. Please leave the house.
Look at you.
Please leave the house. Please leave the house. This is violence. You've got the kids in your hands. Leave the house right now.
This is exactly what he wanted.
Leave the house right now.
This is exactly what
Leave
he
the
wanted.
house.
And look, he's getting video
Leave the
evidence.
house.
This has been planning this.
Leave the house.
He has been planning
Leave the
this
house.
from day one.
Leave the house. Leave the house. The children don't deserve to see this.
I think you need to take responsibility. Okay, yeah. All right.
Leave the
You
house.
guys will never see my kids again.
That is
You guys will
not,
never see my kids again.
that
Ever.
will not,
Ever.
That will not happen. Leave the house.
Look at you guys.
Leave the
Look
house.
at you guys.
Look,
That's
Leave the
hilarious.
house.
look,
Leave the house.
Whatever.
Leave the house, Nikki. Leave the
This is
house.
exactly what you wanted, Jamie.
Leave the
This is
house.
exactly what you wanted. You're actually
Leave the house.
exactly what you wanted.
And this is what I've been putting up with for years. Violence, all of this. And the kids have to see it. That's the sad thing. And never taking responsibility for any of her actions. Caught out, trying to cheat on me, and then she acts like this. Instead of saying sorry, instead of trying to make it right. I'm sorry, Mom. You okay?
no, I'm not. Okay.
Where's your phone? I'm actually calling the police.
No, just leave it for now.
Yesterday, Nikki sent me a nasty message saying that she won't be picking Ava up. anymore, and if I want to take her home on these Wednesdays, then I have to bring her back as well. So basically I drive down, which is, I anticipate about 2 hours to get there, depending on traffic. Sometimes if I'm lucky it's an hour and a half, and then it's about an hour and a half back. So that's essentially like...
So can I just say, for argument's sake, no, an argument's sake, can I be a little bit cheeky? I just want to be a little bit cheeky. Allow me, permit me to have a few seconds of just mischievousness. Just a few seconds. But I remember a certain quote that says that, that people who divest, they find out that they get the same type of black man, and it just reminded me of that quote that is, even the white kings out there, they also are getting the black women that we get as black men. You know what I mean? That's me being cheeky. But in all seriousness, this ain't cute. No, on all jokes aside, this ain't cute, right? To be in a situation where you are claiming that your partner was DVing, and the person, the person saying that they've been emotionally abused. We have to be real about this. That's a very heavy accusation to make, and he kind of breaks down some of this kind of stuff. And I wanna go back a couple of years. I did a video a couple of years ago, and I'll share this tab real quick just so you can see. I did this video a couple of years ago. This was her, and this is what, 2020? Yeah, 3 years ago I did this video on my channel, right? And it was about her situation. Listen to this.
I wanted you. This is where you're meant to be at right now. This is the plan that I have for you.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. Like, subscribe. Okay.
Little Black Book. I felt more joyful. I've never felt more secure or heard, or all of these things. And that's not to paint a negative picture on my ex at all, because I don't want to come on here and feel like I'm giving you a reason to attack somebody. Because at the end of the day, you don't know the facts.
But in this particular video, she details that she had a vision about being in a certain room before she had a vision before she met her ex, Jamie, of her being in a certain room. There were certain blinds that were going on, etc. You watch a video here.
I didn't think anything of it. Let's say over like a 7-year span, I've had this kind of image come in my mind like 3 or 4 times. I had zero understanding of it. It made no sense. I'm like, I'm in a marriage. Like, I'm about to have a child. Like, there's no way that I'm going to be by myself. Like, why does this vision keep coming up? Fast forward 7 years to where I'm at right now. It's funny though, because I didn't even think about this when I moved into this house. It never even crossed my mind, but I was laying in bed the other night. It was about 1 a.m. I had my daughters in the bed with me because they still co-sleep with me. So Zoe was cuddled up on me, and it was just one of those sleepless nights. I just couldn't sleep. And usually, because it's funny because I have the blinds in my room, and usually I will close the blinds completely when I go to sleep, but I think that night I was just really tired. I didn't close them. So they were kind of like a little bit open, and I'd never done that before. I saw the moonlight, like I just looked onto the wall and I saw the lines on the wall. As I looked at my daughters, I saw the lines on them. I saw the lines on my face. It just kind of reflected, as moonlight would do. It reflected the shadows onto the wall. And it wasn't until then that I realized this is the image that I kept seeing. For years, for 7 years, this is the image that I kept seeing of me being by myself in a room alone. It was dark and the blinds.
I think what's really interesting was that one of the things she said was that God said that there was this is where she said she felt like God said that this is where she's meant to be. After seeing that vision come to life and she was in that room, she now sees this is where God said for her to be. And I want to say this as well. Look, look, we go through. I want to make this distinction very clear. We can go through things, and God never ordained for us to go through it. Okay, now let me say something. For instance, God never ordained for David to go and take Bathsheba and do what he did. I'm sorry, but he can use it for his advantage. So when things are going bad, it doesn't necessarily always donate that God wanted you to go through it. There are some things that are in our control that we didn't have to do. You understand? When things are out of our control and they just happen, then yeah, we can say God just allowed it. Like say if your parents passed away, there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you could do about it, right? But in terms of like going in for a marriage and stuff like that, we have control over who we go for. Am I blaming Nikki? No. All right, cool. So let me get back to the video. First of all, my beard still isn't connecting after 3 years. So, shout out to the beard that hasn't connected after 3 years. But, what I was alluding to at that point 3 years ago was that she gave it, and that's why I said it's kind of manipulative, right? If this whole story is true, it's kind of manipulative. Because when she came out talking about, hey, she spoke about, hey, look, we we broke up, but you know what? She didn't tell us a full truth of what happened. She kind of made allusions to it, and I need a godly man next time, and I need a man that loves God, and da 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 da, and made it very spiritual. That's the reason why consider they're here. And I was saying that the reason why that vision may be absolutely true, but that doesn't mean that that vision can actually be true. And yes, you are where you're supposed to be, but that doesn't mean you've had to go through what you need to go through. What that means is that maybe God was showing you that where you would end up because of what you were doing. You get what I'm saying to you? So what you might have been seeing is as a result of what actions you were taking in the immediate moment. But she tried to spin it like the single life and her being a single mother now and her being in her own house and crib. This is where God wanted her to be. Well, maybe God was actually trying to tell you this is where you're going to end up if you keep on going the way you're going. So you try to so that's what I'm saying, that if the story be true on his side, she's been manipulative because she's come out acting as if it's all about the fact that God wanted her to be in this particular place. And I said this 3 years ago, that doesn't mean that. You know what I mean? Just because David could chop Bathsheba, you know what I mean, chop Nayash and chop cheeks, does not mean that God was like, you know what? You're good. Continue. That's not what it means. What it means is that God has allowed. It doesn't mean He's permitting. It's a whole different story where God can take His hands off and be like, okay, I'm allowed to see what you're gonna do, right? So it doesn't mean that just because you saw a vision of where you'd end up, that's where God wanted to be. Maybe God was showing you that's where you're gonna end up if you keep on going the way you're going. But she didn't present it to us like that. She presented it to us as if that God had told her, you know what, she knew from the beginning of the relationship, this wasn't the relationship to be in. And by all means, look, there are relationships and marriages, and I said this on the video at the time, that yeah, you start a relationship and you're like, do you know what, my bad, you know what? I knew from the beginning of the relationship that I wasn't meant to be in it. But you spun it like God has told you from early, and so now where you are, okay, now you are where you are. It's like, God made sure I was here. I knew I was meant to be here. You know what I mean? So my thing is that Jamie's been kind of quiet for a lot of time about the situation. It's been almost 3 or 4 years since that video, and now he's responding. Now he did respond in another video where he denied the cheating allegations because that was labeled against him. But yeah, this situation, yeah, we're gonna go back to the beginning. So I'll play a little bit of clips and try and find you the best parts of it of what he discussed.
We wouldn't do the renovation ourselves, and that we would budget and pay somebody else to do it all. Okay, and then after we bought the house.
And let me just say this too, okay? We got a 50-50 Kang here, okay? All right, just going to be honest with you. We have a 50-50 Kang right here. Just going to tell you this straight, okay? We have a 50-50 Kang right here, okay? Because when he starts explaining the story, he's 50-50. You know what I mean? I want to make it very, very aware very quickly, okay? Why do I say that? Because, oftentimes us black brothers get a bad name and a bad rep. We mention 50-50, and then suddenly are we roommates? Are we roommates? Our white counterparts don't do this. They know how to treat each other. They know they have to be a provider. That's what we get labeled as. So I want to just address that particular notion today. Okay, all right? Let's address that today, okay? We're not the only ones who do 50-50. I want to let you know we got a 50-50 Kang right here, okay? Yeah, okay, yeah, okay. Let's go.
The most important thing to me in life is being a father to Ava and Zoe, and I've been through hell and back to remain a father. The only way I can describe the feeling of when I found out that I was going to have to go through so much to remain a father is it felt like I got hit with a tidal wave, and I felt like Jamie the individual got washed away in one direction, and it was as if he was never seen again. And Jamie the father got washed in another direction, and he survived. And that's kind of all I've been ever since. All I've really been able to have the strength to be is to be a father. It's like I've forgotten a lot of things that used to make me happy, that I used to be interested in. Even I guess like one of the best ways to explain it is I used to be a music nerd. I've always been really into music, and a lot of the time I struggle to enter conversations about music and artists that I used to be really into and music history and stuff like that. It's like I've forgotten so much about things that I used to really care about. It's like that part of me was just washed away. And you know, over the years, it's just like everything's about being a dad. People are always like, what else are you into outside of being a dad? We only see you being a dad. Being a dad is, it's my everything. It's my existence. It's what I've just poured my whole life into because it's something that's just been
it's coming up
so
now, guys.
incredibly important to me. And my life has just been made to be incredibly difficult over the years.
I'm gonna start talking about
When I
some
first left Nikki, I truly hoped that we would be able to co-parent. I hoped that she would stay in the house that we lived in because it was her dream house. It was a house that I never wanted to get. It was in an area that I loved, but I didn't want that house, and I really didn't want to renovate that house. I knew it was a bad idea. I knew how controlling Nikki was and how she got, and I knew with a newborn baby and how overworked I was, it was a bad idea, but she insisted. We made an agreement that we wouldn't do the renovation ourselves and that we would budget and pay somebody else to do it all. And then after we bought the house, she just went back on that agreement, and it caused a lot of drama. And we went over that budget that we'd agreed on. And it was just, that whole experience was a nightmare. It never felt like a home. It just felt like her thing. And I wasn't really allowed a say in any of it. And so I just assumed that she would keep that house and I would get a place close by, and we would try and co-parent for the sake of the girls that we both loved and both still do love.
First of all, let me start from this point of view, okay? I'm going to say this again. For the fellas out there especially, I've said this before. If you as a man, as a leader, there are going to be some decisions you need to take that are going to make you the villain. And you have to be comfortable with that. Because guess what happens? In the end, when it's not a good decision, they come round and they blame who? You. This is for any of the men who are listening in this channel. When you are the man and you are the leader of your home, I know the ladies are going to tell you, listen, hey, but listen, when you know that decision is not the right decision, you can feel it, it's not the right decision. You do not need to take it. Be the villain for today, be the hero tomorrow. Because what he just described is essentially what I've been talking about over the past few months, especially for men. This decision that you took about the house, which is a big financial investment, it's not just buying a local thing, it's an investment you're making in something that requires a large sum of money. If you know it to be a bad decision, you can't take the decision. Because in the end, when it all falls down, right? When it all falls down, it's going to be looking at who? You. I'm not talking about being a tyrant. I'm not talking about being an oppressor. And I'm not talking about being a dominator. What I'm talking about is assertive leadership. And there are times where you have to say, hey, look, we're not doing that. Financially, it's not viable. And where we are right now, we can't do it. Let's budget for that in two years' time. And we can look at some houses around that area. That's where we can go. But unfortunately, he's very passive. You can tell straight away that he's a very passive person. And so the more passivity he shows, the more that she takes control. Now, of course, like I said, when someone shows you they're a little bit more reserved, what's the first thing you're going to do? It's really dependent upon what you feel. But in reality, the decision to make, he should have put his foot down and said, hey, look, I hear it, but we can't afford it right now. Financially, I'm going to be at a stretch. It's going to be very difficult to do. The renovations, we haven't got the money for yet. Let's budget this and make sure that in 2-3 years' time, we're ready to go and do it. But instead, he wanted to make her happy, and that is the biggest issue. When you put her happiness above the leadership that requires for everyone to be safe, financially, emotionally, and mentally, when you allow her happiness to dominate all of that, this is always going to happen. And again, I want to reiterate, it's not about dominance and it's not about being a tyrant and a dictator. It is about understanding that when you come to an assertive point of leadership, you have to communicate and let the person know, look, what I foresee in a situation, we don't have the funds right now to do that situation right now. It's going to put us in a pickle. Right? So to protect me and you, we're not buying that house right now. We can look to budget this and buy this in 2 or 3 years time, but we're not buying it right now because financially we're not going to be in a good viable position. It's going to stretch us far too thin. And you have to dig your heels in a little bit and be the villain today and be the hero tomorrow. Because being a hero today can make you the villain tomorrow, right? And now you're in a situation suffering and you're having to foot the bill. You're still footing the bill. Because like I said, when you are the leader, everything will always end up coming back to you, whether you like it or whether you don't, which is why I do not agree a lot of times with Manosphere when they talk their talk because they want to be leaders, but then vacate themselves of responsibility. You are still going to be accountable. Whether you like it or not, if you get married and that person now comes in alignment with you, you now become accountable. And in the end, even though she's responsible, you're accountable. And everything tends to come back onto your head. And this is what's happened here in one instance. Not all. In one instance, it's come back onto his head. Because you didn't want to take a decision. Because you were trying to make her happy. And you placed that above the safety financially and mentally and emotionally of your family. And what it means long-term objective goals. That's actually what's happened here. So that's just a little incident of me saying that. Now, again, I do also understand. Okay? I do also understand that there was probably a lot of pressure from Nikki. She wanted a particular lifestyle, a particular home, a particular, a particular look or whatever, right? But this is where, and she probably pushed your boundaries a little bit, all right? But she also needs to push your boundaries because she knows who you are. Because she's been dating you for a while. And this is, in all reality, this isn't new Nikki. You know, as Nicki Minaj would say, you know, you have a mess of Nikki. You understand what I'm saying to you? All right? You're not messing. So you have to understand that this wasn't, this was happening before. Because, and the reason I'm talking about this is because in the course of the conversation of this video, one of his biggest things is he's financially suffering right now. Now, that's partly because of going to court and having to have lawyers and stuff like that. It's taking a lot of his money. But now you're financially suffering. You're now working Uber, bro. You're now working Uber, bro. And there's no shame in that. It's me trying to highlight where you've got to now. Let's get back into it.
But she left. She didn't want the house. I got stuck with it. I got stuck with paying the mortgage myself. The renovation still was unfinished, and she actually tried to make me pay for most of the renovation that needed to be done as well. I got stuck with the body corporate fees, with the rates, and she moved an hour and a half away.
So she moved away to that house that she was talking about that God told her that she'll be in. She moved away to that house that the God that we serve told her to be in. Look where she's at now. Pay attention. Pay attention. You understand what I'm saying to you? Pay attention. Where she's living now is exactly where she feels that God has told her to be. So what does that mean about the house that she was in before? This is what I'm talking about. Let's say she's true. Let's say she's telling the truth. Let's say that it's absolutely true. God told her that she'll be in that house. Look where you are. Do you see what I'm saying to you? So taking decisions based on because you want to make someone just happy when you can see there are obvious issues with the decision is poor leadership. It's poor leadership. And I'm not trying to big her up. I'm more talking from this position because as a man, I want to warn other men that taking a decision where you put her happiness over the stability of your family will always lead to issues. Always. Always. And good sound leadership sometimes just says, I know you want it, but you can't have it. Not right now anyway. And she's now in a house that apparently God told her that blinds will be in.
In good traffic, in peak hour traffic, it was about 2. And then I got hit with you can see your kids every second weekend, and then every second Wednesday from 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. And I feel like I can talk about this because I don't watch her videos, but people tell me when she makes videos and talks about certain things. And I had been told that she had made a video way back when, where she had said that the girls lived with her and that was the arrangement. So that's what the arrangement was. It wasn't one that was, like a judge didn't come up with that arrangement. She did. But in Australia, it's hard to get the right citizens. I'm being very careful with how I word this because I don't want to talk about anything that I'm not supposed to talk about. But because it's not, information is already out there, I feel like I can. So that was quite difficult. I said quite difficult. It was the hardest thing I ever went through, seeing girls that little. And she got to the point where she would refuse to even help with the pickups and drop-offs. So I was having to do all that driving. On Wednesdays, it was particularly hard because I would hit peak hour traffic on the way there and then peak hour traffic when I was returning them. Fortunately, the girls were always so excited to get back to us, to be involved in the decision of where she went to kinder or when she went to kinder. But she was enrolled. I didn't even know where she went to kinder. I didn't know how she was doing there. I didn't even get access to, you know, there's these great kinder apps these days where parents can see photos of what their kids are up to during the week.
So basically what he's talking about here is that at this point, Nikki is making it difficult for him in terms of the children. She's not helping in terms of the scheduling of picking up the children. You know, whether that is her not delivering the kids to him and him having to pick up the kids from her house, driving back and driving back again. And I do understand the pain of that. That is a very painful thing. And, you know, it can be a little bit difficult in that aspect, especially with schedules. And then, like he said, he's hitting peak traffic. She moved an hour and a half away. I mean, it's a lot. I can't lie to you, it's a lot. And he spoke earlier on. He spoke about how the reason why he started the YouTube they did kind of, it came out of nowhere because actually their wedding blew up, and that kind of then pushed them down that line. They agreed originally to work together, and then they both would work. Originally, that was their instance. They both would work. That was their original. That was the original aspect of it. He actually addresses the YouTube money situation. The YouTube money thing. The channel that they have is a kids-friendly, family-orientated channel. He can't post anything but family-orientated videos. And also, he can only post, I think, once a week or something like that, due to his PTSD or something like that. So there's a lot of things that are happening. That's the reason why he's got some financial issues. And because a lot of the money also has been sunk into the divorce. Let me tell you this now. Let me be honest with you. Mandem, I want to be very clear with you. You're afraid of the court system, but really and truly what needs to be happening is I need the men and the women to start getting smart. And what that means is if you're going to go through a divorce, I need you to start working some of this ish out before you get to the courtroom, because you're losing too much money on both sides from fighting in the court because the lawyers are chopping your money. You understand what I'm saying to you? They're chopping your money. And divorce has become very costly for you people. I need you to deep that. Yeah? So look, as I say, it's cheaper to keep her. But what I'm trying to say is the maintaining of a relationship. The Bible says, what man sits down to build, without thinking about the cost. About thinking about the cost. There's a cost here. And the cost is not maintaining that marriage is costly for a lot of people, because people get bitter, they get angry, they get hurt, and then divorce becomes a weapon to behead you with. Right? So these lawyers that you guys are employing, they are mercenaries. Yeah? And they're their job. So I'm not mad at them, but it's their job. But they're mercenaries. Okay? And so they don't care about your financial situation so long as it benefits them. They're chopping and eating at the end of the day. Your misery is their financial income. So what am I telling you? I'm saying to you that we need to be, listen, I need you to be focused on, first of all, choosing the right kind of partner because it's costly. And number two, maintaining the relationship. Understanding that the cost of this relationship is financially and time-wise and energy-wise and mentally-wise. It is draining. You get me? It's draining. You get me? So, yeah, it's not easy.
And, for the most part of her kinder, I didn't get access to that. I had to go through.
Let me speed up.
To fight for that. I made the decision that I couldn't travel. I couldn't get like a regular job because I needed to be able to be a stay-at-home dad. I needed to be able to put myself in a position where I could continue being a really, really present dad who can do all the school pickups, who can do the school drop-offs, who can, do everything at home that I needed to do. And Nikki was never going to get a regular job. And so she always had that argument of she's going to be at home. So YouTube, the family vlog was what I wanted to get back into filming for other people, because that's always where I was the happiest. But when I discovered that I was going to have to, do everything and anything to remain, a really present father in the girls' lives, to fight for that, I made the decision that I couldn't travel. I couldn't get like a regular job because I needed to be able to be a stay-at-home dad. I needed to be able to put myself in a position where I could continue being a really, really present dad who can do all the school pickups, who can do the school drop-offs, who can, do everything at home that I needed to do. And Nikki was never going to get a regular job. And so she always had that argument of she's going to be at home. So YouTube, the family vlog, was what I decided to focus on the most, because that's what allowed me to be the most present father that I could be. It's allowed me to just spend so much time with the girls. It's been the biggest blessing in the world to be able to share all these experiences with them and experience so much of their younger years in a way that I wouldn't have been able to if I was doing another job. YouTube has been the saving grace of our family since the beginning. When Nikki and I got married, or before Nikki and I got married, we had discussed in detail what we thought a marriage would look like. And we both agreed that our marriage was going to look like us both working and being a partnership, being a team, and, setting goals and buying a house one.
So they said their agreement was, before they got married, was that they'll both be working. It'll be a partnership. By the way, partnerships, I had an argument with men about this. Partnership, trying to argue about what it means, and it doesn't mean 50-50 partnership. A partnership is a partnership. It could be 95-5%. It's still a partnership. What you're talking about is equal shares in partnership. But, they agreed that they would both be working, and obviously, also that, they would be in partnership. This is another aspect of it. Okay.
Day and working towards that. And I've always had health problems since my early teenage years, which have held me back with work over the years. I've had my struggles. But when we first got married, Nikki decided she didn't want to work. Nikki, before we got married, Nikki worked part-time in hospitality, and then she did modeling on the side. It was her passion, and it was something that I believed, and I still believe she could have been incredibly successful in. It's something that she always used to talk about, how one day she was going to be a supermodel. And I truly believe that she was going to be. She was, still is, a very beautiful woman. I can't take that from her. And, she went to New York, and it didn't go the way that she thought it would. And that was hard for her. And then she got the opportunity to go to South Africa, and she didn't want to go. And I tried to put myself in her shoes, and I thought, if I had an opportunity to do something that had always been my dream, what would I want to do? And because I cared about her and I believed in her, I encouraged her to go and take the chance, and I built her up and told her I believed in her, because I truly did. And she went to South Africa, and the OG subscribers who watched all of that know, it didn't really go as planned. And when she came back, she took that really hard. And I understand it wouldn't have been easy, because she'd built herself up and it didn't go the way that she'd hoped for. And I wore a lot of the blame for that, because I had encouraged her and I had built her up and made her believe that it could be something that it didn't eventuate to be. And she was struggling with depression.
Okay, so this sounds like a very tricky moment in the relationship. I'll be honest with you, this is a very tricky part in the relationship, because now we're discussing a part where we're saying, hold on a minute, she had dreams to be a supermodel, which, by the way, when you look at her, Nikki, like, she is stunning. I'm talking about all types of fine. You know what I'm saying? And she has that look where you would say to yourself, that's a model. She has that look, the way she, even her body, her frame, like you wouldn't, if she said she was a supermodel, you wouldn't bat an eyelid. You would like, wow, how long have you been doing it for? Like, you wouldn't put her out of place. That's how she looks. You know what I mean? And so, if that was her dream at the time, I was confused, because I thought she was going to be heavily more involved in the modeling. aspect of it as well. So I don't know. Maybe there's a deeper rooted issue as to what. Maybe there's some fear there in terms of maybe when she failed, didn't want to go again through it. Maybe there's a fear of disappointment. Maybe there's some kind of maybe some childhood stuff there in terms of not being able to achieve the goal that she wanted to achieve, right? And then changing her perspective to be now someone who's going to fit and be the housewife narrative. Because maybe that's what's changed. Maybe that's what's changed. Maybe something in that aspect, maybe that hit a nerve, maybe it triggered something that needed to be overcome in terms of her confidence. Yeah, her sister became a Ducky. Ducky's fine. Oh, when I first saw Ducky and her, I said, "Oh my God!" Like, yo, Ducky and her, like, yo, chilly. In fact, let me show you a page. This is not Ducky, but this is
Hey loves,
Nikki.
get ready with me to head to Chadstone Fenty Beauty Complexion pop-up. I'm going to start off with a profile.
Absolute stunning.
I'm sorry. I just need
what?
1 minute to make sure I look good.
From Sudan,
Do you think I
beautiful.
look good?
Whoa. I mean, I'm talking all types of chocolate. You understand? That's somebody's girlfriend. Let me stop. But you know what I mean? I'm talking all types of foreign. You get what I'm saying to you? You wouldn't place her out of a space that she isn't a model. You get what I'm saying to you? If I'm saying to you, the look that she has, you wouldn't put her out of place. You'd be like, yeah, you're a model. Like, you know what I mean? So the question begs is like, okay, you hit two roadblocks. And what is it that happened that it didn't, you didn't want to pursue anymore? And it might have been the fact that she had a child as well in between that time. Maybe that's what came before then. Maybe it got to a point where it got to the fact where having a child maybe derailed a bit of that. But it sounded like that she lost a bit of confidence from being knocked back twice. It didn't come back. Someone said I was like, you know what I mean? But damn, go to the point.
And said she didn't want to work. She wanted to take a break from work. And initially I was supportive of that because I wanted her to be happy. I wanted to be a good husband. Obviously, I'd never been a husband before. I'd never been in the provider role. And I just wanted to do what I could to give her the best life that she could, because she had a hard life. She'd been through a lot growing up. I was just trying to give her what I believed that she deserved.
Now, this is interesting to me. And again, I would love to maybe have a bit more background to Nikki as well, in terms of, he said she had a very hard life. Now, I don't know if that's hard in terms of Caucasoid language, or whether that generally is hard in terms of she had a really hard life. Because, sometimes, Caucasoids like to present information differently to how we present it in terms of what's hard. Just saying, they might be, they look at some of the things that we've gone through and they're like, that's hard, and that's an everyday life situation maybe. But for real, I wonder what kind of hardship she actually suffered, because that might give us a better understanding as to maybe the impact to her motivation to the modeling and all that kind of stuff. That really may have been an impact to that, as to why when she got knocked back, that really just took her down the confidence aspect, and maybe she didn't want to pursue the modeling anymore or whatever, and that she wanted to resign herself to staying at home. You know what I mean? Okay, so her parents had to flee a war in Sudan when she was 5. Ooh, that's heavy. Okay, she took care of her siblings. Had a child and taking care of her siblings too. Oh, okay. And then she went to nursing school. I heard that. Yeah, I saw that part too. Okay, so that's a heavy thing right there, and that would then make a bit more sense as to why maybe she got to a point where she just wanted to not work anymore, because maybe her focus was becoming like, you know what, I've worked all my life, and now I don't want to work no more, because you tried to make the modeling work, you've been knocked back, the nursing thing knocked back. I've been looking after people for so long, the trauma's probably catching up as well in terms of fleeing a war, as well. And maybe that's also a part of it, to understand where it's coming from. So she wanted to just be in a place where she maybe just wanted not to work and not have to think about working. And he agreed at the beginning. You know what I mean? He agreed at the beginning. Okay? All right, don't say black brothers don't complain about when their wives don't work, because this brother out here was complaining. Okay, it got to after a little while, he started complaining. You understand? I have never had someone complain about providing so much, and y'all want to talk about us black guys. I'm just telling you, I just want to highlight that so you can have a bit more grace with us brothers in future. Okay.
And so I started trying to do whatever I could do to make things work. I believed that eventually she would go back to work and it wouldn't always be like this. And I was working 7 days a week. I had so many different jobs. I had, I worked in retail part-time. I was interning as a videographer, trying to learn how to, be a videographer and start my own business. But a lot of the jobs that I was doing, I wasn't getting paid for, or I was getting paid very minimal. So that wasn't paying a lot.
Hold on.
I was picking up jobs with my dad on building sites when they would come up, just laboring. Always be like this. And I was working 7 days a week. I had so many different jobs. I had, I worked in retail part-time.
Let's pause it right here because the receipts are here. Let's read his receipts. So let's see this. He said here, me begging her to help me to be able to work a 5-day work week for the sake of my health. It wasn't that I was a bum or lazy. My health just couldn't handle it. I had been begging both before and after she started studying part-time. Me begging her to work led to her saying she wanted to leave me. Oh. He said he wanted to work. And she said, well, I want to leave your ass, okay? I mean, that is definitely part of it, Brittany, as well. That's definitely part of it. He definitely highlighted that he saw her potential, and I think he felt like she was underutilizing that, and that frustrated him, as well. And obviously, it would have taken off a little bit of stress from him, If she had become the supermodel, would have taken off some stress. Now, was he trying to get, trying to get a quick ride off her back? Well, I wouldn't say that, you know what I mean? But yeah, so I definitely think that was also a part of it. But let's read the text here. He put a text here. This is 2014, guys. He said, where are you? Are you okay? Can you at least let me know if you're coming home tonight? Good night. I love you. Hold on a minute. Wait, what's going on here? Where is he? Is this her? Which one? Wait, let me see. I think she's... Okay, no, he's the blue. Whoa, where was she? Where was she? Where was she? Whoa, where was your wife? Whoa. Ooh. Ooh, where was your wife? Why is she not at home for 2 days? Why was she not at home for 2 days? Why was your wife not at home for 2 days, sir?
Carnage. Let there be carnage.
Bruh, she went at home for 2 days? Or was it him that went home for 2 days? Who wasn't home for 2 days? No, she's a white bubble. So yeah, so that means when he's asking her where she at, where is she that she wasn't there for 2 days? Someone said her phone died. For 2 days. I think she might have been on holiday at this point, I think she might have been on holiday, at this point. I'm winding you guys up. I think she might have been out of the country at this time or something like that. No, actually, no. What am I saying? How am I gonna say that she might have been out of the country when he's saying, would you come home tonight? Look at me trying to save our sister. That was automatic response. I apologize,
interning as a videographer, trying to learn.
Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. I was trying to, it's instinctive. I want to save my sisters, in the realms of this madness. That I instinctively tried to look for the, the saving grace of
retail,
why that situation got to where it did.
I
was like, maybe she was across the country or whatever. She was out of the country. But the brother asked, are you coming home tonight? Clearly, she was in the same country, in that space as well. So, that situation there. But she says, honestly, I feel like a burden in your life right now. I know I'm not perfect, but I don't think I deserve to be told such words. You know what nursing means to me. It's incomparable to other things. For you to say that I'm just taking the easy way out shows that you don't think I am And once your partner thinks you aren't It'll always feel like that way no matter what you do in life. Okay. Jamie, you and I are a team on YouTube. I mean, sure, I don't work nearly as hard as you do at your job, but the fact that the rent is already taken care of doesn't relieve any stress. Not at all. Hold on a minute. What the frick is going on here? I mean, sure, I don't work nearly as hard as you do at your job, but the fact that the rent is already taken care of doesn't relieve any stress. Not at all. Now, who's taking care of the rent? I'm not saying I'm not going to work. I'm saying I don't think you should. Hold on.
I was interning as a videographer, trying to learn how to.
Hold on. I'm not saying I'm going to work at all. I'm saying I don't think you should give me that reaction when I do contribute to. You just see that as nothing, though. If I had a part-time McDonald's job like you were wanting me to do months ago, that is equal to what we get vlogging anyway. My phone's about to die. Okay, so this is where he responds. Says that's not the case. I think highly of you, and that's why it frustrates me like crazy that this last year and a half of marriage, you have just watched me work my ass off for the both of us, for both our present and our future, and not felt compelled to do the same and push yourself to do more with yourself, to help relieve the load that's on me and live up to our fair agreement that we made about school and work. I just don't feel that it's fair, especially when I know that you're 150% capable of doing so much more with yourself. My frustration is that I know that you have all the skills to have already. My frustration is that I know you have all the skills to have already got your license a long time ago. If it was really important to you and have been working on your own side business to help us. If I thought you weren't, I wouldn't. It's getting juicy out here.
Be a videographer and start my own business. But a lot of the jobs that I was doing,
I would just accept that you can't. But I know that you're perfectly healthy, intelligent, and able, and that's why it frustrates me so much. Because I love you, and I know that both of us would be happier if you pushed yourself to do these things. I feel like we've had this fight for so long. You've seen how sick and stressed I've been this past year, and how I still had to work my ass off every day. I never had this sort of responsibility before. It hasn't come easy to me to force myself to work so hard, to work for people like who I absolutely hated and who made me feel like but I used you and your future as a motivation to force myself to do it, even when at times I really didn't want to, especially when I was working for air. That was the hardest thing I've ever had to do, but I had to suck my ego and do it for the both of us. Had my filming not taken off, I would be in a factory or retail right now working my butt off for the exact same reason I work so hard now. Love. Well, there ain't no sunshine where he's gone. Yeah. There ain't no sunshine where he's gone. There ain't no sunshine where he's gone. And he's always gone too long. Anytime he goes away. I have no idea what that song means. But I just thought I should sing it. Look, the reality of the situation is... of course, yes, he definitely needs the money. That's the reality. But he's waited 4 years to do this. Okay? All right? And so if this was... I think money is a part of it. But I also want to say as well that the reality of the situation is he's been a villain for a very long time. Yeah? He's been the villain for a very long time. And he's kept quiet for a very long time. Right? Kept quiet for a very long time. You know, you can't win. You respond... They're going to say that you're a narcissist. You don't respond, and you finally respond. I think he's planning it, and he's plotting it, and he can't wait for your downfall. And it's like, you can win. You can't win. Okay? The guy has waited 4 years to talk. I just need you to deep that. This is not a today thing. Yeah? This is 4 years. You know? That it's finally happened. Now, I think... part of where he's going to, it might have been the fact it's a kid situation. I think they've already gone to court. They're doing 50-50. The reality of the situation is that also as well, he wants to change the direction of his channel. That's also it as well, right? He's changing the destination of his channel. That's also another thing as well. But the reality also is that sometimes you get to a point and you just want to tell your truth finally now. You know, the divorce finalized in March. So the actual divorce finished finally in March. So now maybe he feels it's the right time to have the conversation about what he went through. You know, this is also a part of it, you know. So the divorce was finalized in March, you know, and because he's not been able to post, and it's going to come up, he's going to describe it. He's only been able to post, I think, once a week or whatever across all socials due to his PTSD as well and stuff like that. We advised him not to post too much, you know. So there's been a couple of other issues that have happened around this situation as well. But yeah.
I wasn't getting paid for, or I was getting paid very minimal, so that wasn't paying a lot. I was picking up jobs with my...
He says, the reason I said I feel like you're taking easy option isn't because I don't think you're passionate about nursing. I know you are, and you're going to make a great nurse. I want to support you all the way through it. But I feel like it's an easy option for you to just go back to school with no plan of how you can help us out financially during the years it will take for you to become qualified. It's so scary feeling like all the responsibility is solely on me. If I had a bad week and don't get any jobs coming through as my wife, I should be able to know that you're there to try everything you can do to pick up the slack. Now, how do you ladies feel about this? Is this a roommate situation? I want to know, ladies, those of you who are fighting me in the chat when we have these conversations, is he got the roommate spirit? Has he got the roommate spirit? He's begging for his wife to work. Has he got the roommate spirit in him? The very thing you call some of your black men that they got the roommate spirit because they want to ask a little bit of payment. I just want to know, has he got the roommate spirit? Or is it different because, you know, he did a few months in the sole provider position? I'm just wondering. Well, roommate spirit? Just wondering. Okay, let me read on. Let me read on. I want a family, we both do, and once you get pregnant, obviously you're going to either be out of school or work for a while with our baby. I want a family, we both do, and once you get pregnant, obviously you're going to be either out of school or work for a while with our baby, which is fine, but it's so scary to think that that I will be stuck with all the responsibility on me. We should be a team. Okay. Let's pause here, because, hold on a minute. You downright know she ain't changed her situation financially. Why the heck would you have children with her? At this point, clearly she's not pregnant. So clearly this is when she's not pregnant. So she's not working. So I want to make it very clear. She's not pregnant at this point. Right? So two things. She could have worked because she wasn't pregnant. She didn't have the children. She wasn't looking after kids. She could have done something. She decided, you know what? She decided, I want to be able to relax. I want to sit back. She wanted a traditional role of a man. Okay. But he didn't want that. Okay. Here's my thing for him. Why the frick did you give her kids? It was only going to get worse. Right? It was only going to get worse. Yeah? It's only going to get worse. Why give her children knowing that financially she's not even in the place you want her to be in? Why would you give her kids? You get what I'm saying to you? You put yourself in a difficult position. You've done it twice now. Where, I'm seeing some, brother, like, I don't want you to, it's just little things we can pick up on, I'm not giving her a pass. Not at all. I'm not giving her a pass at all. I'm looking at her too at the same time and going, you can see your partner struggling, not just financially, but he's sick. Like, he's not also very well, apparently. He's got some sickness about him. Pick up 1 or 2 shifts, baby. Pick up 1 or 2 shifts. right? But the trouble is, she wanted to go into nursing, and that's also a very like even when they finished, even in between their course, they do like maybe for instance they do a residency or whatever. I don't even do they even get paid during the residency? I don't know if they get paid during the residency. I can't remember. You know, I can't remember if you got a residency, if you get paid for this. You know, it's going to be a little bit of time before she gets paid. So I see there's a problem here, right? The amount of time that he's willing to wait for the next thing. Sorry, I said residency. I apologize. Wrong word. Say residency. I should say work experience. I apologize. And wrong word. Work experience. I should say. A placement. A placement would be better wording. I do apologize. You know, a placement would be better worded. But yeah, no. Yeah, they also require you not to work in. That's what I thought as well. I thought that's also the thing as well. Which is why I'm saying that. You know, which is why I'm saying that. Once he knows that she's going to go down this path, you have to understand. There is, you know, that there's going to be a period of time where income is not going to come in, because that's a sacrifice right there for her to get to the next position. Do you get what I'm saying to you? And so that's why he's asking. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, but we're gonna have to choose one or two. Either we're gonna give her the dream of going to nursing, or she can't do, or she shouldn't go at all, because she can't do both. Right? If she goes into nursing, she can't work at the same time too. I mean, I know some people have done it, but you know, you shouldn't be doing it. You know what I mean? Because it's stressful. The studying that also has something along the side too can be a lot. You know? But he says, I want a family. We both do. And once you get pregnant, obviously you're going to either be out of school or work for a while with our baby, which is fine. But it's scary to think that I'll be stuck with all the responsibility on me. We should be a team. Okay? The reason I said I feel like you're taking the easy option is because we've had this argument for our entire marriage, and I've cried, I've begged for you to try your hardest to help us, and now you're going to school still with
Dad on building sites when
no motivation to help us out in the meantime. So I feel like that's at least 2 years of me being on my own still, with all the stress of saving for our trip, our future kids, and our future house. I just don't understand how that is fair. Now, let me be very real with you. I also understand the pressure he's feeling right now. He's feeling some pressure. The finances are piling up, and some of the things they want to do are going to cost money. So we've got to make some hard choices. Either you go to work, or we've got to cancel some of those trips that we have planned, because I'm going to die if I don't. It's just the honest truth. So some of those future trips we have to scale back on. Okay, the future kids, savings, might have to scale back on that. Our future house, delay that. You know, and that's a harsh reality you've got to let her know. That's the harsh reality you've got to make her know. Either we got choices to make here, right? Either you go into work and you quit the nursing, or she goes into nursing next 2 years or so. I don't know how long, 2-3 years. Okay, 2 to 3 years. And you know what? I suffer for the next 2-3 years. But in that suffering, here's a plan. We can't afford to go on these trips. We're going to have to suffer it out for the next 2-3 years. We cannot do lifestyle. We can't afford it. Right? And this is why I said again about becoming a villain, because you're going to be a hero tomorrow. Right? So in this instance, what needs to be said is this. Hey, I love the fact you want to do lifestyle right now. We can't afford it. Based on my finances and where you are right now, you want to become a nurse. I'm willing to sacrifice in this moment. You go and be your nurse. Do it for the next 2-3 years. You go ahead. We're going to have to cancel some of the trips. Right? Why are we doing trips? We cannot afford the trips. And unless brands are giving us money, right? Unless brands are giving us money, we cannot afford this trip. Right? So we need to scale it back. you get what I'm saying to you? Yeah? We need to scale it back. Okay? That's just the honest truth. She got to scale it back. Because otherwise what's going to happen is you're going to feel frustrated and you feel like it's not fair. And I hear you, you know, because he's doing 50-50. You know what I mean? And if that's what you agreed on, that's what you agreed on at a time, shifting it and changing it before we even had kids, that's kind of a hard sell. I understand. You know? So what we need is now effective, assertive communication, letting her know, Nikki, I absolutely hear it. Okay? All right? Yeah. And listen, look, we know because she actually admits that doing videos is too much hard work. It's not easy. It's not easy doing YouTube. I'm telling you, when you find out how much work goes into it, not everyone can do it. You understand? So I know because he spoke about it in the video. You're going to see it. But it's not a problem that she wants soft life. It's not even, she doesn't even want soft life because she wants to be a nurse. But the reality is, then if she wants to be a nurse, she goes down that lane. Fantastic. You're going to be a nurse. I'm going to suffer the next 2-3 years. Cancel the trips. Cancel some of the other things that we're going to, unless it's a sunken cost already. We've already paid for it. That's different. But we can't go ahead of it. You know what I mean? We got to focus on right now. He says, I just want us to put equal effort into all of this so I don't have to feel like I have to work 12 to 13 hours a day so that I can have date nights with you, spend more time with you, instead of feeling hurt that it's all on me. I love you. I love spending time with you and hanging out with you. And I freaking want to finally get to the stage where I can start a family and be happy. But I feel like in order for us both to get there, we both need to make sacrifices and work hard. I'm going to school to have a career for the both of us, and going to school at a time like this where we don't have to worry about rent seems like the best time to go. I feel like you are money hungry. We aren't rich, no, but we aren't dying either. What happened to? Now, this is interesting because we're getting somewhere here. They're not paying rent because I think the property was his friend's property or something like that. They were in a property at the time, if I remember correctly. Let me see if he's got, does he have the, no, he doesn't have it there. I thought he had it there, but, so they're not in a property that they're paying rent for. So something's up. So they're not paying rent. Maybe they're at the parents' house or whatever. Rent is one of the biggest money takeaways. Okay? All right? Rent is one of the biggest money takeaways. So if rent is being taken off, what are the other additional finances that are coming into play? Why are we working 12 to 13 hours a day? What is it we're trying to achieve? Are we trying to achieve what we're trying to achieve here? Because all that's left to pay is food, gas, light, water, electric. So my question is, what are we trying? What's the vision at this moment then? What's the vision? What's the vision? Right? Because sister's telling us she's going to get her career. Right? She's telling us straight, she's going to get her career. So money's going to come. It's going to come later on. And she wants to work. So cool. So then where's it? If we're not paying rent at the moment, right? Where are they now, and how long can they sustain that place where they're at? I don't know if they were. I think someone said they were staying at a friend's house. I do remember they said they were staying somewhere, so I was trying to understand how long they were allowed to stay there for. You know. So this is also interesting to see. We need to find out that information. So hopefully we'll get some more in the text.
Come up, just laboring, and then I was doing this YouTube.
Okay, so then the message here. She said, obviously, appreciating life, money isn't everything, but you obviously think it is with your expensive taste. Whoa! Now, she accused him of having expensive taste. Now, that is interesting. She's accusing him of having expensive taste. Wow. For a brief period, Nikki edited the vlogs before we started adding B-roll and music, and she was really good at it. But when we started doing the consistent vlogs, it became my job again.
Thing, like the YouTube videos in the beginning.
Hold on. Don't go too fast. He says, no, not a lot, because YouTube vlogs aren't guaranteed future, and I feel like you take all that for granted. Yes, we make the videos together, but it was me who spent months and months researching how to make it so profitable. and signing up for so many websites to promote our videos and replying to all the fan mail on Facebook. I appreciate that you edit the vlogs now and you're great at it. You do a much better job than I ever did, but I never see you researching how to make the channel better or more profitable. You have girls begging you on a daily basis to make makeup or fashion videos, something which you could make very profitable, yet you just for some reason don't have the motivation to spend the time doing it. The brother said, you're not gonna get a free ride on the back of my back. Forget what you heard about the Kang. We do 50-50 around here too. Y'all were coming at the black brother saying that we mean when we say this. This is your Kang telling you straight, he ain't gonna give you a free ride. Get your ass in the workshop and start working your ass off. That's what he's telling you. Okay? He said, there ain't no free rides around here. There ain't. There ain't no free rides around here. The same. Look, you thought you left a black brother to come to this brother and you gonna get it easy? Ha! Not on my watch. Get your ass in the workshop. That's what you need to be. You thought it was different around here. Somebody lied to you. This king right here, you gonna be working. Like they won't even have kids at this point. They don't even have kids at this point. So what are the expenses? I need to know what the expenses are. Something's not quite right. Something is not quite right. Something's not quite, and I'm not even just saying for Nikki's side, I'm also saying for his side, because you ain't paying rent. So what are you putting your money to? I'm not hearing a conversation about we're putting money towards a savings to get dagger. Right? And Mr. Jones, you know, I don't want to be that guy, but it does sound a little bit like brother was looking for the come up. You know what I mean? I'm not mad. I'm just saying, y'all be talking about us black brothers. I'm just saying a lot. You see, you got yourself a white Kang, and he the same way. Okay? I'm just saying. Okay, the brother looking for a little come up. Okay? Now, I don't think he's necessarily looking for a come up, but he was looking for a come up. I think he wanted her to do more. I think he saw her potential, and he saw her financial potential. And I think he felt like with her financial potential, she could bring more to the relationship and he could relax all the way. Because remember, he's sick. He's sick. So maybe he's thinking to himself, I wouldn't mind working part-time, be a stay-at-home. I think he wanted to become a stay-at-home dad. I think he wanted to become a stay-at-home dad. I think he wanted to be a stay-at-home dad. I think that's what he wanted. I think he wanted to be a stay-at-home dad. And we found out that this Kang is the exact same Kang you've been getting on the black side. There ain't no difference. Okay? All right? He wanted to rest on the bosom of Nikki's coins. I think he wanted to take a little break. I think he wanted to take a little break. You know? Just saying. I'm just saying. It sounded like he wanted to take a little break. It sounded like he wanted to be, you know, he was tired of being he said he's tired of being a financial provider. I thought our Caucasoid counterparts don't get tired when they got to provide. You know what I mean? The way that they talk about black men, I really didn't think that our Caucasoid people, they get tired. I thought they live in the provision role. I thought they never complain about being providers. I just want to point that out. That they, you know, some people make it out as if our white counterparts never complain about being providers because they just love it so much. They just know their role. They just know they gotta be providers. Because all I've heard is complaints. Okay? This ain't the Kang that y'all were talking about, that they don't complain, that white folk don't have this conversation. Was you not telling me, not all of you, but some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. You'll be screaming that on the white side, they don't have these kind of conversations. They just know. And this ain't, he didn't just marry any black woman. He married the baddest bee of us. I mean, he married the finest. And look, Brothers still complain about provider. Okay? The brothers complain about being a provider. He's a 50-50 merch. Okay? All right? It's a serious review, but I have to have some jokes in between. I got to make it light. Okay? I got to make it light a little bit. Okay? We've been taking hits on this side of the internet. Okay? I just want to open your eyes up that it's not always different on the other side, what I've been telling y'all. But back to serious things, though. Okay? Back to serious things. Let's see what he says, okay? Says, oh, there, the water's getting my lip. I appreciate that you edit the vlogs now and you're great at it. You do much a better job than I ever did. But I never see, listen to what he's saying now, but I never see you researching how to make our channel better or more profitable. You have girls begging you on a daily basis to make up fashion videos, something which you could make more profitable, yet you just for some reason don't have the motivation to spend the time doing it. Now, is his thing more about the money, or is it, do you want her to live her potential? Which one is it? Do you want her to be in the money, or do you want the potential? You get what I'm saying to you? Yeah? That's what I'm trying to find out. Is it that you want her to achieve her potential, or is it that you want her to bring more money to the table? Which one is it? I'm not going to say you have to choose one of them, but it sounds like we're making, it sounds like we're choosing a side here. I have to be fair because I am wondering where the money is going to. You're not paying rent, so I am wondering where the money is going to. Because why are you working 12 to 13-hour weeks? And I'm wondering if you're having low menial jobs. Maybe that's why he's saying that. And I'm not sure how old they are either at this point. So maybe they're very young. Maybe this is why. Because, in your youngster days, your earning power usually isn't so high. But I am wondering at that point in time, where is the money going to? Because they're not paying rent. So what do we do? Are we putting money in savings? Are we putting money in, what are we doing with the money? That's all I'm trying to understand right now. Before I jump, and I jump on our good sis, and I've jumped on her a little bit, I also want to understand as well by taking in the information, what you're telling me. Because all I'm hearing at the moment is complaints. Fair enough. Okay, so he's turned 40 already. Let me just type it. How old is he? Jamie Perkins. How old? Let me find out how old he is. He's born 90. Oh, he's 33 years old. He's not 40. He's 33. He's 33. Oh, no, wait. No. I lie. He's not. He's 40. Oh, no, wait. Someone's got two different ages. Why have we got him at 1990 birth, but someone else has got a different age? I've got a different age. If someone could find out the real information for him, I want to know exactly how old he is. I think I got 33, then I got 40. I don't know if that is correct. If someone could just confirm that for me so I know exactly if it's his 40th or 30th birthday. He says, I got 33 years old, 1990, May 12th. I got May 12th here. Is that correct? Is that an alignment? Then he's not 40. That means he would have married. He said 40 yesterday. Oh, he 40. Oh, is he 40? Which would have made him how old in 2014? Would have made, what are we now? So that's what, 9 years ago? He would have been 31. So we've got a 31-year-old, 12th of May 1983. Okay. So he would have been 31 at the time when this conversation is kind of happening. So he would have been, so he would have been 31. So at that point in time, he's not that young. You're in 30, you're now starting, you're really the height of your careers and stuff like that. So my question, the reason why I talk about age is because what then is we trying to go for? Like at that point, You know, where's the money going to? What are we trying to achieve? Are we trying to, you know what I mean? I want to make sure so that we understand something. But reading on, he says, I feel like you're satisfied doing the bare minimum while I have to do the absolute maximum, which is killing me. And I just don't think it's fair because we got married. You were motivated to work your ass off for our wedding. But after that, it just stopped.
I think like once a month or sometimes, you know, even.
He says, I don't understand it. You have so many options, yet you don't take any of them. And it's not just all in my head. People constantly ask me why you're not working. Now, why are they asking why you're not working? I'm just wondering. You know what I mean? I'm just wondering. Again, this is not an excuse for cheating. We're not excusing that. I'm giving a whole synopsis of the video he's given so I can understand. You get me? So that I understand. You feel what I'm saying to you? So I want to understand where he's coming from because he's the one saying this stuff, right? So I'm just trying to break it down all the way. So I'm wondering what he's saying here because when he's saying here now, he says you have so many options, you don't take any of them. It's not just in my head. People constantly ask me why you're not working, why you don't start your own business because they see it too. These opportunities they won't be around forever, and if you really don't want to do it, the least you could do is find some other kind of side job to help contribute more with your free time so that we can have kids and buy a house and all that stuff in life. People need money to do quicker. So he's saying, listen, hey, look, you don't want to do that stuff? Well, baby, can you get yourself a side job? Contribute more, because the free time you have, I don't see you doing anything. He said, listen, not on my watch. There's no Real Housewives here. Not on my watch. None of that ghetto stuff that y'all do on that other side. Not on this watch. Okay? Yeah? Not on this watch. All right? I don't know what you thought you seen on the TV screen, but that ghetto stuff on Real Housewives, you don't do it here. Okay? You gonna work 12 years a slave. I want to see that. No, I'm joking. But, you know, again, just wanted to highlight that. You know what I mean? Because he's complaining about her not working again. I just want to highlight that. He says, I miss having more time to have fun. I love you. You shouldn't be satisfied watching. Now, this is the part where it killed me. He said, you shouldn't be satisfied watching how hard I work for us and not feeling like you want to help right now as well as in the future. Because the reality is, I had not been working as hard as I have been this last year and a half. We wouldn't have our rent paid. Now, this doesn't make sense. Had I not been working as hard as I have been this last year and a half, we wouldn't have had our rent paid. I just don't understand how you don't see how unfair that is and how you always make me into the bad guy, especially when you bring up that I don't have time for you. Now, I don't know if she is bringing that up, that's a bit mad. If she's bringing up that you ain't got enough time for her, yeah, that's a bit mad. I can't even lie to you. That is a bit wild if she's bringing that up. You know what I mean? If she's bringing that up, that, you know what, you ain't got time for me. When you downright know, I'm telling you to get your ass a job so that we can have more money in, so I don't have to work as hard. You downright know I can't do it. You know what I mean? You know I can't do it. Okay? You know that I can't do that. That's kind of mad. Okay? But now I'm like, the rent is being paid, so I'm confused. So maybe her comment meant, don't you make enough money to pay the rent? That would sound that I hope that's not what she meant, because that's even more wild. What are you complaining about? You earn enough to pay the rent. Like, you know, I'm wondering. He said, I don't understand how you don't see how unfair that is and how you always make me into a bad guy, especially when you bring up that I don't have time for you and do things for you. I wish I had more time for us, but I need your help.
Even longer periods than that. But I was spending a lot of time researching how to make YouTube work, how to.
Okay. She said, and I quote, she said, let me clear your ass all the way through because you don't understand what I'm saying to you. She said, let me clear, okay? Let me clear, all right? Let me clear yourself right through, okay? Let me make this clear to you, okay? All right? Yes. Let me make this clear to you, my particular kind, okay? She said, I mean, I do other things for you that don't bring in any money, but I'm sure make a difference in your life. And asked you, what would you do if I left? And you said, that's her choice. Didn't sound like you mind. My phone died as soon as I got here, and this charger works on and off, and it's very frustrating. You didn't call me again, so I didn't think you cared where I was. What date is this? Oh, we don't have a date. You that even if I get a nursing job, who knows how long that will last? And what if I injured myself and was never able to work again? Would you therefore walk out on me because you couldn't handle all of that? No, both of them are trash. I can't even lie to you. Both of them are trash. He's like, listen, I need you to work. She's like, well, if I was sick, would you? What? Yeah, if I was sick, you'd still be working, wouldn't you? Right? She's using the exact same tactics that the men use on the women. When the women are asking, we need a man to provide, they're like, well, when I wasn't there, what you doing? When I wasn't there, what was you doing? Was you not paying your bills before me? So why you want me to pay all your bills? That's exactly the tactic she's using on the other side. She basically said, well, if I was sick, if I was down and out, okay, I got 21 questions and they all about us. Would you love me if I was out? Like, she said, no. Okay, all right, no. If I was sick and I was out, would you still have love for me? Because that's what you're saying right now. It don't sound like you would have had love for me. Okay, all right. It sounds like you trying to say that if I didn't work, you'd She said, I don't want to be a bum. I want to have a respectable career doing something I love. If we had kids, you would constantly make comments if I wasn't earning anything or very little, regardless of what you're earning. And this is why I don't get why he wanted to have kids. Because, brother, you're complaining about providing in the role that you're in with her right now. And I'm not saying that you don't have a complaint to make, please. Okay? I'm not saying you don't have a complaint to make. What I'm saying to you is, why are we considering family and children, and we end up having children knowing she isn't in the financial place you wanted to be in, and you're suffering? Why would you want to compile your misery on top of yourself? Why would you do that to yourself?
Monetize it because, we will get.
Says, regardless of what you're earning, I don't think we should survive through that. And I wouldn't want to put our kids through that.
A few $100s a month in the beginning.
Yes, you do. I'm not denying that. But you do get to pick and choose what you do and what you don't do. I don't get that luxury. I would love for us to do 50% of the housework each, and 50% each other, and 50% each, 50% other each too. Well, ladies and gentlemen, y'all said that men don't want to do 50% of the household. The brother here has told us he would lovely go 50-50 and do 50% of the housework. Y'all okay with that? Y'all said that these men want you to submit, don't want to pay all the bills. But this brother said he's willing to go 50-50 and do the housework. I'm just saying, Brother said he's ready. And he said, what the F? Why would I say that? Why would Thingy say that? I said, it's not what I want, but it's your choice, because unfortunately it is. Yeah. Niggas in the sunken place. The white kind is in the side. Jamie, if you watch this, I appreciate you, bro. But this is the sunken place. Because whenever you start going to a place, whenever you get to a place where you start saying that the person is their choice to leave you, you are aware of the power dynamics between you and another person. You are unaware of the power dynamics between each other. You are aware. I think he knew that. I think he knew the power dynamics was in her favor. She was quote unquote the baddie. And I think he knew that something wasn't quite right. Well, and the truth of the matter is, because he caught her in the very first year and he found out some things about her fidelity. You understand what I'm saying to you? Ooh, baby. He said, listen, I said it's not what I want, but it's your choice, because unfortunately it is. I don't want it, but I can't force you into anything. You already made it that clear. She was trying to suggest we take a break, and I told her, well, now is not, well, now, but I told her, my English. She was trying to suggest we take a break, and I told her, well, now is that fair? I would still be in the same situation, feeling all on my own. And you know, I hear it, bro. Okay, I hear it, bro. You'd still be in the same position, paying all the damn bills. You're absolutely right. You'd be paying all your damn bills. So then why are we complaining? It's like I say to the ladies, then why are you complaining? If you will be without, why are you complaining? If you'll be paying the same bills you'll be paying when she's not there, I don't get the complaint. If she wasn't there and you'll be paying the same bills, what are we talking about here? I'm trying to understand that point. He said, clearly, you know I want our marriage to work and I love you. That's why I stress so much about you acting so carefree about all this stuff. It also really hurt me that you walked out and didn't even reply to me and let me at least know where you were for the night and took off sacred wedding rings. Ooh. Do-do-do-do-do. Damn, he was getting hit from all sides. He was getting hit financially and emotionally. He was getting hit. And you know what? That's a good point. That's a good point. You know, now you guys have told me her background in terms of that she came from a war-torn country at the time. Stability and safety sound sexy until you're stable and you have until you're stable and you have security, and it no longer becomes sexy. It's very the same thing with people that have absentee dads and they want to date older, and it's what I was trying to explain to Unique on the interview. When you start looking, the reason why some people want to date older men is because they start looking for security and stability, and that becomes sexy to them. But when you get it, actually, once you finalize your stability, you realize you just need to heal. You don't need an older person. You needed to heal. So, and this is another thing, situation that happens too, with men and women, that sometimes, and I'll use women as an example because it's easier. Sometimes women will be in their, will be unprotected, or they've gone through some situations and they will look for the stable guy. They get the stable guy and they destabilize the relationship, because in reality, it wasn't about stability. It was about healing. And so now when you get into that safe space, it becomes destabilizing, because actually this is essentially this is not what I actually wanted. And so yes, stability and security becomes sexy until you realize I just needed healing. You get what I'm saying to you? And so just like for her, the flip side, the reverse for him too, because you got a type of girl, you got a type of woman who also too, I'm gonna have to ask a question. You kind of seen her attitude then, you would have known about it. Why did you choose the girl who, whose attitude didn't fit yours? But then again, he said she changed. But I'm like, did she? Did she?
And that just seemed like free money. And I saw...
Next part. He said, I don't want you to earn what I am. I just want you to at least understand that you should try as hard as you can to bring more to the table. If I saw you trying as hard as you could, I wouldn't have a problem. My frustration comes from seeing you not trying your hardest. If you're only going to study and not going to use some of your skills that you have to help make extra money on the side of it, then it will continue to be very hard for me. You're right. I still don't deserve those words though. It just is unfair that that you've had so much time to do things to help us save before marriage. Oh, it's just unfair that you've had so much time to do things. So, mate, I'm reading like a 3-year-old. It just is unfair that you've had so much time to do things to help us save before going to school, and you've never bothered. And now that you finally going back, I get turned into the bad guy for being upset about that. I just don't think that's fair. I don't know at this point. Because I'm good, she said, because I'm good to you in other ways, but you forget that when you're stressed. She said, look, when I lay it down, you're not complaining. When I give it a wizza, you're not complaining. Okay? When I put a ziggy down, you ain't complaining. I do other things than bringing money to the table. Because when we do things on the table, your ass ain't complaining. Okay? She said your ass ain't complaining. All right? So I don't want to hear it because you weren't saying that yesterday when your eyes were rolling in the back of your head. Yeah? You know exactly what I bring to the table. Okay? Because I'm on the table and you're on it too. You get what I'm saying? Like, at that point, I get it. Like, you know, again, clearly defined gender roles. It seems like they're missing each other because they're now seeing two different ways of their roles and what they must, what they believe that each person should be playing. I think she's looking for a definitive, full-on provider in this meantime. But she wants to work, by the way, so she is going to work. It's just going to be after. It's just not going to be right now. It's not going to leave it to pain. So my thing is this. Was he willing to suffer for the next 2 years, 3 years in order for her to get to that next stage? I'm not giving her a pass because her ass was cheating, apparently. So I'm not giving her a pass. But what I'm saying is, was you willing to suffer in the next 2 to 3 years in order for her to go to school, to go and get a degree and finish that aspect? And then she'll be earning money because I'm assuming she's going to use her nursing role. You get what I'm saying to you? I'm assuming her going to be a nurse because she's passionate about it. She wants to be a nurse. She's going to be making money. Right? So my thing is, was it a fact that you weren't willing to suffer for the next 2-3 years? Making it clear, I'm not giving her a pass. Right? Making it very clear, I'm not giving her a pass. But what I'm saying is, from what I'm understanding, he said, if you're only going to study and not going to use some of your skills, that you have to make some extra money on the side of that, then it will continue to be very hard for me. It sounds like you want help, and I hear that. You know, I'm not mad at it. At this point, she's going to nursing, so I don't know. At this point, they're going to nursing, right? And he's saying, listen, it's unfair that you have so much time to do things to help us save before going to school. So I think what he wanted, here's what I think he wanted, okay? Going by this last statement here, it's just unfair that you've had so much time to do things to help us save before going to school, and you never bothered, and now that you're finally going back, I get turned into the bad guy. So what he wanted was for her to start working part-time before she went into nursing, get a little bit of a buffer so that he can maybe take a little bit of a break. I hear that. And I think what he saw, and I heard about it, she went to New York, she also went to South Africa. She had a bad experience when it comes to the modeling. I'm not sure what was happening. It might have been, maybe some people were trying to bully her or whatever, we don't know. But she had a bad experience in South Africa and a bad experience in New York, and that she quit the modeling. But I don't know if that's after, before. I don't know the exact timings of that because I didn't get a timeline, but yeah.
A potential in it. And I was working 7 days a week. I was so exhausted.
He said he was working 7 days a week, player. 7 days a week. There we go. She's like, and here it is. Look, maybe because all my life I've been given 100% of what everyone asked of me, and I did the opposite of you. Not fair, I know, but because our rent was paid, I felt you are stressing too much. You act like we're going to be homeless. I do appreciate you, just don't understand your stress completely, and neither does anyone else. Now, this is interesting. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay? Now we're getting somewhere. She said here, because all my life I've been given 100%. She's tired. But you found yourself a white kang and you thought it was going to be better. And it's not. You know why? Because it's not about being white or black per se. It's about, first and foremost, financial clout. Do you have the ability, financial status, do you have the ability to have that kind of money and be able to provide it? And that's the reality of the situation. There are white and black males who do not have the financial clout or status to do this sole provider stuff what people are talking about. So it's not just black men don't want to do it. It's the fact that if you are on a certain financial status level, you cannot foresee yourself doing sole provider because you do not have the means. You don't have the means. And so now the conversation isn't just about him being a white kang or a black kang. The reality of the situation is when you are of a particular social status, his dad is still working at 75. That's what he said. He said his dad is still working at 75. He hasn't retired. He's still working. To this day. That's what he said. To this day, his dad is still working. Paying off a mortgage. So he knows what it means. Right? His dad seems to be a sole provider. So I'm not saying it's wrong on either side. What I'm saying is there's a misconstruement on both sides here, but this gives us a bit more perspective. She's tired, right, of being in that role where she's had to look after people. She wants to be looked after. And unfortunately, the partner you chose, you agreed at the very beginning that we both be working. And I've just seen I think it was 5 months ago, the man she chose, I think he's a light-skinned black man or whatever. So she came back. She came back. Oh, she came back. All right. So let's continue. And she acknowledges, not fair, I know, but because our rent was paid, I felt you're stressing too much. He's like, you're right, you don't, but they come from frustration and feeling helpless to motivate you. I've tried everything to get through to you and nothing works. I really don't think you understand how hard all this pressure of having to be the main provider is on me. Yeah, he complained about being the main provider. Let this be a lesson to you, for my audience. We have 500 people in this room. Please like the live. We have 500 people in this room. You guys are all interested. 500 people in this live. Like the live, share, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, get involved. Subscribe to the channel. We appreciate your time here. I don't want you to leave without leaving with something. So make sure you subscribe, okay, and subscribe to the channel. We've got 500 people in this room. Now, here's the key thing. He let her know straight, I'm not trying to be this main provider. See that talk? I don't want to hear it around here. Yeah? See that main provider talk? I don't want to hear it around there. You understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah? All that stuff you were talking about with main provider, yeah? Leave it over there. Because round there, it's not a main provider thing. It's a me and a you thing. Yeah? It's me and you thing. Yeah? I want to see you working. Because you ain't going to get a free meal off my back. Yeah? I love you, but you're not going to get a free meal. You're not going to get a free meal off the back of my shirt. It's just that real. Okay? Just want to let you know. He wants some level of partnership going on. He said, it's hard. The pressure of being the main provider is on me. I'm not a healthy guy. I've got a fever at the moment. You know the health problems I have. But I push through those and it's for us. Before I had all this responsibility, I used to just do the bare minimum in life. Oh, it is! I can't lie to you. I can't defend you, Cap. I cannot defend you, Cap. I cannot. Let this be a lesson to the ladies. Let this, ladies, be a lesson to you. please, before you talk about the black brothers in your community that don't want to be main sole providers, before you come onto a podcast, a YouTube page, a YouTube channel, Cynthia G's channel, before you come and start screaming down the house about black males don't do, I want you to see this white Kang has just told us he used to do the bare minimum. And he's complaining because he has to maximize his outputs. I will defend my black brothers today. I will defend you today because the ladies, they have been dealing with us differently the last few years. And I have to keep showing them there are people that are mad. There are people that are mad. He's telling you straight that I used to do bare minimum. And basically, you're making me feel like I have to do more than bare minimum. Can you imagine someone telling you that? The audacity. No, that's deep, the audacity. Just deep, the audacity. Listen, even if you do the bare minimum, where is your pride, King? Sorry, Kang. Where's your pride? That you tell us, you come out and tell us I used to do the bare minimum. What? You used to do the bare minimum? My guy. And you're proudly saying it to your wife. I used to do the bare minimum. And I'm complaining because I have to do more. Ah! He wanted to be a stay-at-home dad. I'm telling you, he wanted Nikki to blow up. And he wanted for her to be the financial provider, and he would be the stay-at-home dad. I'm not even saying that's necessarily even that he's lazy. I don't want to go there. I want to say that he wanted to be a stay-at-home dad. The brother never saw because I think his illness as well. Maybe felt like he couldn't work too hard. I can understand that. But in reality, the brother wanted Nikki to blow up. And when she blew up, then he could stay at home and be a stay-at-home dad and be the supportive husband. I don't want to call that laziness. I think he had a different vision. And I think he needs to be honest about it. Okay? I think you need to be honest about it. I think you wanted her to blow up, become this huge star, and then what would happen is you could be the stay-at-home dad. Not that you want to be lazy, but I think you want to be a stay-at-home dad. You get what I'm saying to you? Yeah? I know part of your sickness is probably part of that as well. Probably a part of that as well. I know your sickness is part of that as well. So I'm not saying he's lazy because he's doing it. He's working right now and he's been working and he's still working, So he's not lazy. But I think you have to be honest. What kind of lifestyle did you have in mind? Because as much as you said about partnership, maybe... Okay, so let me put it this way. In the beginning, you saw partnership. Then your YouTube blew up. Because once they got married and they filmed it, the YouTube exploded. I think you then saw the potential of YouTube. I think what you saw was that Nikki being the face of it, because he said himself, he doesn't want to be in front of camera. He's a behind the person, he's behind the camera kind of person. He's always been that way. I think what he might have wanted, maybe he might have wanted her to join the YouTube aspect. Let me give two aspects. I think he might have wanted her to join the YouTube aspect. They can work together. He does behind the scenes, but she does other stuff as well with the YouTube. Then it blows them up. They get more money. He can then not have to go to manual labor kind of work, and his work is simply filming, which would be more in alignment with his dream. If you heard him earlier on, what he wanted to pursue was filming. And so if then she sticks with the YouTube aspect, what would have allowed him to do would have been he can stick to being behind the camera, doing the edits maybe here and there, doing the camera work and that would have been in alignment with what his dream with. I think he has to be honest about how he feels about that. You get what I'm saying to you? Right? I think you have to be honest about how you hear about that. So I think, not that he's lazy, not that he doesn't want to work. I don't think that's the case here. Okay? I don't think that's the case he doesn't want to work. I think it's a type of work. You get me? It's a type of work. It's a type of work. Because man said I was doing the bare minimum, I worked retail jobs. I worked for my dad. I did enough work to buy things I wanted and have an easy life. I called in sick a lot. Never had a spare sick day. I never had a spare sick day left over. I always went away over them. But since being married, I have made a 360-degree turn around, and the motivation has been you and our future. I know how easy it is to. So basically, what he's saying is, listen, I've been lazy before. When I met you,
I'd started
I
this
turned
channel
it
years before
around.
Nikki and I even started dating, and I would post my music on it.
Okay? Yeah? He says, I'm not a
I would
healthy
post
guy.
videos of
Hold
my
on. Oh. Charlie, you do make the receipt go fast. Slow down now, Jaw. Let the receipts.
this channel years before Nikki and I even started dating.
Aha, let us receive the receipts. Let us receive the receipts. Don't rush it. You are rushing it, going to a car. But it's not important. What's important is a receipt. Let us receive the receipts. We want to understand what is going on. Okay, let's go back. Okay, he said, I'm not a healthy guy. I've got a fever at the moment. You know the health problems I have, but I push through those, and it's for us. Before I had all the responsibility, I used to just do the bare minimum. I work retail job, Okay, yeah. But since I've been married, I've made a 360-degree turnaround, and the motivation has been you. And our future. I know how easy it is to feel comfortable doing the minimum because that used to be me. That's also why I don't understand why marriage hasn't changed you the same way it did me. Ah. 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 I hear it. So you're saying that because you've made this drastic change, you are expecting her to also make it too. You know? Oh, Sam, they would have dragged us to the high hilt of the land. Oh, they would have dragged us to the heavens. Oh, surely and mercies and grace. They would have dragged us to heavens. This is not our problem, you know? Okay, this ain't our problem. You know? So what he's saying is that she's lazy. I think he's saying that she's underutilizing her potential. Of the two of us, you're smarter and more skilled. That's why I feel frustrated. And then she said, I agree, but not sure when I'll be home though. I think we need space. Anyway, I just broke the stupid charger, so it's about to die again. And I won't be able to charge it until I buy me one after work tomorrow night. And now, where was she working? That she said, I'm going to buy one after work. Where is she working at this point? Because why is she working? I'm confused. Where is she working? I want to know what's going on there. Why is it raining so hard outside right now? I want to go to the gym, but it's raining so hard. Okay.
I would post my music on it. I would post videos of my S2000 on it. It was just something that I did for fun. But then the proposal video went viral, and
So, is that where his money is going to? Is his money going towards the cars?
it sort of turned into something else. And Nikki loved watching vlogs. I didn't really see the point of vlogs, to be honest, in the beginning, but she was passionate about it, and I wanted her to have something, and I saw the potential in it. So I would build and build and build in hopes that eventually she would take over, because that was the original plan, that she was going to take over. It's what she wanted to do. She wanted me to teach her how to edit and film and things like that. And it did continue to take over. But for the most part, I was doing all the work side, and
He says here, creative film and editing, negotiating brand deals, networking, checking and replying to emails, meeting with clients, writing proposals, replying to comments. If you ever got a comment responded to 90% of the time, that would have been me. Researching things that were currently trending online for content ideas, creating the thumbnails, finding fresh music to use, reaching out to artists to get permission, and a whole lot of other things that made YouTube work were for a large part of my responsibility. Okay, so he felt like he was doing way too much and she wasn't contributing much enough. So, you know, in this aspect, what you need, it sounded like you needed an assistant. But I hear what you're saying. Like, it's a lot, right? Doing all of that. It's a lot that you're having to be in that space, right? Where you're having to do X, Y, and Z for the company or for the YouTube. And unfortunately she's not she's not helping in that regard for you. Okay. Oh no, I definitely hear. I know it gets worse.
I was networking behind the scenes, and I was building and just hoping that eventually she would take over, or get a job of some sort. And it never changed, and I was just burning myself out. So in the first, like, yeah, when we first got married, I actually I had pneumonia twice in 1 year. I was hospitalized quite badly with it at one point, and I spoke to the doctor about, everything that I was doing, how hard I was working, how overworked I was, how stressed I was, and my health conditions. And he's like, no wonder you've got pneumonia. No wonder your immune system is just so broken down. You're getting sick all the time. This is too much for you to handle. And she acknowledged that I needed to slow down, but just.
Where are all the ladies telling us about their dads work 2 to 3 jobs? You should stop complaining. Ladies, where are you? Well, ladies, where are you? Where are the ladies that come and tell us all the time, my dad worked 2 or 3 jobs. I don't know why he's complaining. Please, those of you who normally tell us that your dad works 2 or 3 jobs and they come here and that he should stop complaining, I want you in a chat today, because you're usually here when we talk about these kind of situations. You come and tell us your dad worked 2 or 3 jobs. Come and tell us about this Kang. He's telling us he's complaining about working 2 or 3 jobs. He's complaining, but your dad is working 2 or 3 jobs. I need to come and hear it. KN Kareen says, it's raining hard because forecasters said no Easter in England. No, I'm in NYC, by the way. I guess you don't follow the weather. Lol. I'm here in the UK, baby. Okay, I'm in the UK, baby. All right. We need militancy. We do. We need militancy today. We need militancy. I need all the stories about your daddies that you told us every time that your dad that he's a Superman. He worked 4 or 5 jobs to pay all the bills for you and your mum. I need to know. I need to know where they are. Where are those who are telling us every time that dad worked 4 or 5 jobs and mum never worked, never even seen a light bill? Your mum has never even breathed a light bill before. She doesn't even know what a light bill is. I need those of you who said it. I need you here today, okay, today. I need you here today. I need you today in the chat. I need all your stories about how your dads have worked 4 or 5 jobs. Your mum has never even dreamed of electricity, even paying it. I need you here today in the chat, okay? All right, so that's what I want to know. All right, okay. All right, so, but all jokes aside, though, I do understand he's sick a little bit as well, and so that's also playing a role in the situation. I do get that.
Acted like I was overreacting about how much I needed help, and I was just always stressed. So I felt like I had to make YouTube work. I had to do something to make it work. And I was trying to build my video business at the same time as well. And it wasn't really making money, but it was growing. And I was so happy doing what I was doing with that. And I was so in love with Nikki that I just wanted to make our marriage work as well, even though we had all these issues around work and around her attitude that as a husband, I was just supposed to provide for her. And she wanted to just take care of the house. I was to share the household.
Okay. Oh, listen.
As to share the work. It wasn't like I was saying get a full-time job. She never really wanted to. And
so he was saying, listen, hey, look, I want you to work as well, and I will pull my weight at home. I don't think it's a bad trade-off. I don't think it's a bad trade-off. I think he was thinking, he wanted them both to work a little bit, take some stress off, and then, he'll do 50-50 around the house. She couldn't see the vision. And maybe, you know what? Maybe the vision should have been completed. Maybe he should have gone ahead further. But I guess it doesn't work without Nikki in this situation, So, maybe that's why he couldn't build it all the way, because she was the most of the one that people turned in to see. So it's not easy in that respect. I understand.
When it got to the point where we got pregnant with Ava, and she was desperate for children, and I was desperate to make her happy. I just wanted our marriage to get better. She kept telling me if we have kids, things would get better. She would she'd be more motivated. And when it got to the point where got pregnant and I tried to blow up even more, I just felt like I kind of had to give up on my dreams and my job of having a film company and focus full time on YouTube. And she wanted me at home, and she wanted YouTube to be the thing so long as I was doing all the work. And that's kind of how YouTube was our saving grace, because we weren't making a lot of money before YouTube became the full-time job. We were just, we were getting by.
Now, let me be very honest with you. 2 things here that make me have a bit of a pause for concern. Here's the first thing. The first thing is this. You said you wanted to have kids to keep her. I don't think that's all the way true. Now, I'm going to give her smoke. Don't worry. I'm going to give Nikki smoke, but that ain't all the way true. And I'll tell you why. Because we saw your texts. And your text was saying, I can't wait to start a family with you. Now, I'm not saying that she didn't push the agenda. Okay? All right? I'm not saying you didn't push the agenda. What I'm saying is that you both wanted to have kids. And we saw the texts. Right? You saw the texts. So you both wanted to have kids. I have to be fair. You showed me the text and I agree. But you wanted kids too. You wanted a family. You just wanted that her to go to work first, right? And get that space. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, if you started making good amount of money on YouTube and it's becoming too much, wouldn't it have been better to hire an assistant or someone to do the editing or somebody just to take over a little bit of the other things so you can just focus on, you can just focus on doing just maybe the runaround stuff? Maybe that could have been a better focus, right? Maybe that could have been a better focus because, like he admitted himself, she was at home doing stuff for the house. So I'm guessing she was doing the housework and the house chores. We're more annoyed about the fact that we've changed gender roles in terms of, we've changed what we agreed to at the very beginning. That's what we're really frustrated about. The agreement has been broken. You hear me? So they said the first house you guys saw us living in was owned by a friend. We were technically house sitting, which is why we had so much nice furniture, because of this. A lot of people assumed we were doing pretty well. I did mention in at least one vlog that it wasn't actually our house though. We also paid rent and all the utilities. We were very blessed.
And YouTube, just honestly, like, we were blessed. We were beyond blessed with the amount of money that we made out of YouTube. But it was me doing the majority of the work with YouTube. And reality is, YouTube never would have been what it was without her. I'm not a narcissist nor delusional. People didn't watch the channel for me. He is charismatic. She's great to look at. She's funny. She's creative. She's somebody who is much more of a natural when it comes to talking to the camera than I am. I'm the type of person I like to be behind the camera much more than in front of the camera. So I've always known that people watch predominantly, for her. I kind of felt like I didn't have my own identity for a long time. I was just Nikki's husband, but it was the hit that I had to take for our family to have what I thought was the best life that they could have. And, over the years I did try and, say, take the channel, let me go back to work. I got my office and I would try and, go to the office, but she would always have excuses for me to stay home. And I wasn't able to have my own thing.
Wait. I'm confused. So is man trying to tell me that man wanted to go back into work, but he's saying that she didn't want to take over the YouTube, but she wanted him to stay at home? Is that what we're hearing? I'm trying to understand.
Nikki's husband, but it was the hit that I had to take for our family to have what I thought was the best life that they could have. And, over the years I did try and, say, take the channel, let me go back to work. I got my office and I would try and, go to the office, but she would always have excuses for me to stay home.
So man was trying to go to the office and every time she had excuses for you to come back home. Why? I'm confused. Interesting.
And I wasn't able to have my own thing. So YouTube, it has been the saving grace of our family since, our family began. Without YouTube, I don't know how we would have gotten by with me being the only one working and how bad my health was getting with, the pressure of being the only one working. And now I can't do YouTube anymore. I can't go fully into detail, but essentially an agreement was made that I agreed to. It wasn't an agreement that, was written up by higher ups. It was just an agreement that at a very broken point where I just wanted to just end all this drama. I wanted to move on with my life, where I've been diagnosed with PTSD from all the stuff that I've been through. I have situational depression, and I signed an agreement that says I can only make one family video a week, which my channel is a family channel. When you look at the analytics, we go to what your subscribers have watched recently, every video is always a family vlog. So the algorithm categorizes my channel as a family channel and pushes the videos out to people who watch, predominantly family vlogs. So if I do a video that isn't a family vlog, it doesn't get put out. Like, let's say I do a car video and I title it with car sort of stuff. I put the thumbnail with car sort of stuff. When I put that video out, it doesn't get pushed out to people who like car videos. It still gets pushed out to people who like family videos. So making video outside of my genre is very hard, because people watch for a certain reason, which is completely understandable. It's the same thing with all my other platforms. I'm kind of categorized in that way. So there's an agreement in place where I can only make one video a week, and that goes across all my platforms. So let's say I make a 5-second reel on Instagram 1 week. It means I can't post my weekly YouTube video that week. The more my views go down, the less that I can charge for when I do sponsored videos, because sponsorships is how I've been making money over the years. I make very little money off of YouTube AdSense. These are sort of, some of the months, sort of typical months that I've been having for a long time. So it's not enough to live off, to pay my rent off. I need to get, brand deals. But brands don't pay for how many subscribers you've got. They pay for, what your average view count is. So it's been very hard to maintain YouTube as something that I can do for a job, even though it's been what I've done for a job for so long. And I get more money from Instagram campaigns than I do YouTube campaigns these days. And then I also have the fear of posting videos that aren't sponsored, because the way my industry works is it's very fast paced. A lot of the time a company will reach out to me and say, we need someone to create content in the next couple of days. Can you do a video? And, usually they're really fun videos that me and the kids, we love to do. Me and the kids, we love making videos, especially YouTube videos. That's where we have the most fun. Because we just get to have so much fun and do so many amazing experiences. And it's what's allowed me to be so present. So we love doing them for free. But it's like, I've had situations come up where a brand will come to me and say, hey, we want to pay you, we need you to make a reel, something really simple in the next couple of days for us. If you guys having fun with a toy or something like that, which is stuff we love to do. But I have to say, sorry, I uploaded a video this week. I can't do it this week. Can I do it next week? There has been times where I'll just say, no, I'm sorry, but our campaign is this week. And so it's like, if I post a video I'm not making money out of, it can make it so I can't post a video I can make money out of. And I need to pay my rent, because the way I've been living for a long time is I've kind of been averaging one brand deal a month. It was like a miracle. I would go through the month thinking, how am I going to get my rent paid? How am I going to get these lawyers paid? And then a brand deal would magically come through. So it would be scary to post something that was just something really fun, that, like, me and the kids, we always make videos for fun that we never post. And they're the stuff that I would enjoy posting, but it's like it could, with this, one video a week type deal. And it was becoming harder and harder. And then in, March, the divorce finally finalized. And it felt like I finally, got to take a breath. And I started looking around at how much I've lost, how much I've been forced to sacrifice. And
crazy this is,
I kind of gave up. I've done a few brand deals over the past few months, because I've had to pay my rent. And I know people get upset only seeing branded videos. And it makes sense. I understand people don't just want to see ads. And it's not what I want to give you guys. I want to give you guys genuine content.
Okay, let's forward it.
Helping me get over social anxiety. I set a goal to find something that I like about every person who gets in my car. And most of them have been that I was the sole cause of our divorce. And I dealt with so much hate over.
Okay, now we're on something.
All these people on the gossip forums and stuff were just running with whatever she was liking and coming up with rumors from it. And then at the time when Instagram changed that, where that interaction feed was gone, suddenly she coincidentally started posting all these, like quotes, like narcissist quotes and all that sort of stuff, which led to a lot of hate. And I think because I wasn't doing the same thing back, people just had this assumption that I was the sole cause of our divorce. And I dealt with so much hate over the years. From what I know, the cheating rumor started from, I'm pretty sure, a burner account leaving a comment on one of Nikki's Instagram photos about how I cheated on her, and it gained a lot of traction and remained there, and people assumed that was the truth. And then there was a woman who made a video titled Jamie Perkins Cheated on Nikki. And it was to the point where when you type my name in YouTube, I believe it's still like that. When you type my name in YouTube, type Jamie Perkins, the sort of autofill at the end is cheated. So when people look me up, that's always what they see. They believe that as fact. That video that lady made got over 1 million views. I've searched for it because it got to the point where I was going to contact her and just human to human ask her to take it down, but I noticed I couldn't see it anymore. So I don't know why. Perhaps she decided to have a heart and take it down. I don't know. But then there was a lot of other people who made similar videos as well, and that was hard to cope with, because the reason Nikki and I broke up was I discovered she had been unfaithful. She'd been going behind my back with her ex-boyfriend, and I'd been warned about him being an issue before I started dating Nikki again. And the first year of our marriage, I discovered that she had been secretly keeping in contact with him, and I didn't see her side of the messages. I saw the Facebook message. Like back then, Facebook used to email you a receipt of the message, and I had logged into my Hotmail, and her Hotmail was still logged in. And I saw all these messages from him, but she had deleted them on her Facebook, so I didn't know what her responses was. But this guy he'd been saying he was in love with her, and he told her to leave me for him. And you know, we'd always hear about him talking to people about how he was in love with her and how he was going to get her back. And I just thought this guy was a joke.
The madness has just begun. Let's listen.
I didn't think much of it. And in that first year of marriage, when I discovered that she had been secretly talking to this guy, it nearly broke us up. It took away a lot of the trust that I had for her, and we moved past it. And I feel like I blocked it out of my memory. It was like I just buried that, and we moved forward. And I never thought I would have to worry about this guy again. And I won't go into details, but I discovered some things I never thought I would discover to do with her and him. And I left. Our marriage had been struggling for a long time. For about 3 years or so, I had been desperately just trying to do everything that I could to fix our marriage, to make her happy, to give her what she wanted. Our marriage kind of went on her timeline. I was always obsessively reading books on marriage, seeking out different marriage counselors, begging to go to counseling. And we went to 3 different counselors over 3 years in hopes that, one of them could help. Things weren't great between us, but I loved her and I wanted things to work, and I wanted our girls to grow up in a 2-parent household. And I was willing to do anything that I could to make our marriage work. But unfaithfulness was my one thing that I couldn't look past. And when I found out, when it was all undeniable, I left. This time it was different, and I left, and I was gone for good. There was no...
So he left this time. So he's saying that he left. This is going to be interesting. We're going to find out, because I'm sure Nikki will probably address it maybe sometime. I don't know when. But she, he left. So, that's going to be and the reason why that's important is because now we can start saying who's lying and who's telling the truth. When you make definitive statements, we can start saying it truthfully. We can start making clear demarcations about who's lying and who's not lying. So if you say there was some cheating that was going on, now that he hasn't got to that point just yet. He's actually talking about the first time they found a little bit of conversation that was a bit off. But if you say now you left, then we now have a point. Will she agree to that point and say he left? Right? And if she does agree to that point where she says he left, she's going to have to answer, why did he leave? You know what I'm saying to you? And if she says no, he didn't leave, right? Then we have another situation on our hands.
Begging her to be with me. There was no begging her to make it work. There was none of that anymore. It was just like, I'm done. Let's co-parent. Let's end this. And that made her furious. And when I first discovered all of this, I told my parents and I told one friend. She contacted pretty much every person that I was close to and told them a whole different story. I've seen some of the messages people in my life have gotten about what happened between us. The amount of effort she put into trying to get into the lives of people that meant something to me was just... I'd never experienced anything like that. And it was crazy because when we were together, we used to actually argue over the fact she didn't really put any effort into trying to be friends with the people that were important to me, or, that she didn't really want my friends in our lives all that much. And then when we broke up, it was like, I have to make sure that I take whatever means anything to you from you. And I didn't really have the energy to defend myself from a lot of the stuff that went around. I mean, it got to the stage where my family overseas, my relatives overseas, were getting long emails from her, starting off with, I just felt it in my heart that I had to reach out to you and tell you what I've really had to deal with. And it wasn't just lies about me, it was lies about my parents as well. My parents who loved her like their own blood. My parents loved her so much. They did so much for her over the years. Like my mum would come and do so much of our housework. She just loved Nikki like the daughter she never had. My dad loved Nikki like the daughter that he never had. And when we broke up, Nikki tried to turn them against me as well. Not just telling them things that she claimed had happened to her, but telling them things that I had said about them to try and break that bond. And my parents still loved her, but they weren't going to turn on their son. And when they wouldn't turn on me, she turned on them. And their life has been incredibly hard. It wasn't just me who had to move to remain in the girls' lives. My mom's 80 years old. She left Geelong. Geelong's 2.5 hours away from where we live. She left Geelong, got her own place. She's starting her life from scratch down here. It's hard for her, but it's even harder for her not seeing her grandkids, who she's always been present in their life since they were born. My dad's 75 years old, still works full-time as a builder in Geelong. He can't start over down here because he's not ready to retire yet, and he also can't afford to retire. So he works in Geelong 5 days a week. Then on a Friday night, he waits for the traffic to die down. He drives down here on a Friday night, gets to my mum's house at 10, 11 o'clock at night. And then he spends all of Saturday with my mum and sees his grandkids. And then Sunday night, he drives back to Geelong and he does this all over again. And my parents are struggling as well. My dad's exhausted. He's always exhausted, but he never complains. He'll never admit to how hard this all is on him. And it's hard on my mum being so far away from him too. Like they're on the phone every single day to each other. They miss one another. They want to live together, but they can't. They can't at this point in time. My dad's paying a mortgage on the house that they have in Geelong. And when it gets to the point where they sell that house, there's a lot of work that will need to be done on that house or demolished and rebuild something on there because it is in a decent area of Geelong. And then they're paying a rental where we are now. And as their son, I should be helping them more. And I've tried to help over the years. When I've had more money, I have helped. But now I can't even afford, like, I'm not making enough money to afford to pay my rent given my current circumstances, unless, like brand deals suddenly come through, which sometimes they do. So that's where we're at. Like, it's hard. And, my dad lost his job of 18 years. He worked for Porter Davis. Porter Davis shut down. If you're in Australia, you'd know about how Porter Davis shut down. And luckily he was able to get a job with someone he had worked with, like a guy who used to work with Porter Davis, moved to another company and was able to get him a job in Geelong. But down here, a 75-year-old man who knows no one in the industry down here, realistically, I don't think he'll be able to get a job here. So he just keeps working in Geelong. We've all just been doing whatever we have to do to remain in the girls' lives. But it's at the point where I've realized I've given too much. I've given more than I can give, and I can't continue this way. I want to be able to give the girls the best lives that I can, but there's just constant restrictions. It's like I'm constantly having to give up more and more and more. And Nikki, she's just wanted my life to be as high as possible. Over the years, I've had severe social anxiety because of what she did with just obsessively telling lies about me and feeling like she's just going to demolish relationships.
Hey, brother's giving us, and I'm not trying to be insensitive, but I guess I'm being insensitive. Brother said he's going to give us the whole Karen spiel. He said, I'm going to make sure I'm a victim, okay? I'm going to make sure, okay, I'm going to get, I'm going to be a victim, okay? He made sure, like, he gave all the Karen pinpoints, he let us know that he's a real victim in the situation. And I'm being a bit facetious because I guess men don't take abuse as seriously sometimes, and I'll be honest with you, that's me being a bit facetious as well. I'm not gonna lie to you, and not being fair to him. But I'm hearing him. I'm hearing him as well. So
the point where I just became a recluse for a long time. I had hardly any friends that I spoke to. I had a few people, but I didn't trust people anymore. I didn't want to trust people anymore. I became really recluse. Like when we went into lockdown, it wasn't so hard for me because it just felt like the life I was already living. And then I decided I wanted to try, this is me, on a trip like that. Like, that made no sense. And then eventually she used the excuse of don't want them missing a few days of school. And I was so heartbroken for the kids.
Okay, so this situation here is also quite interesting. I can't lie to you. the Disneyland situation, yeah? This is interesting. So let me just... Disneyland. So he says, yeah, tomorrow morning is fine for Easter changeover. Regarding Disneyland, aren't the girls in school? He said, okay, 10 a.m. So yes, they are in school, but I think for once in a lifetime experience like this, I think it's worth missing a few days of school for. It's the type of experience most kids only dream of. Listen, you know, all of our parents have been there. They've taken us out of school for a few days. It ain't a big deal. You know, you're not going to die. You know, we've all been there, you know. And so that's also happened as well, right? We know that as well. Then she says, yeah, 10. You jump at every opportunity to take them to fun places, leaving me with no first-time experiences. That response is wild to me. That's a very wild response to me. Very wild. I can't lie to you, that's a very wild response. Says Disneyland is a bucket list for every parent, and you not extending an invitation is kind of petty. Petty where? Sis, if I feel like you abuse me and you beat me, I don't want you anywhere near me. I want to take the kids to Disneyland. Where am I being petty by not asking you to come along? You know? So where's pettiness? I'm in there. I don't think having the girls miss school for a theme park is okay. We do a large payment. We do a large amount for their. We do pay a large amount for their education, and it seems as if school is second priority.
Things that are really important about the kids, and that's kind of it.
So my brother said, "All right, cool. I get you. I get that you feel left out. I'm sorry you feel that way. It's understandable. I admit I would feel the same way if the shoe was never foot. Like you said, it's a bucket list experience for all parents and kids. But this isn't about you or me. It's about the kids. And it would be unfair on them to miss out on something so special because of those feelings. We're not together anymore, Nikki. And over the years, I've tried my absolute best to try and co-parent with you, even to the point of offering on multiple occasions to pay for family counseling sessions to help us with our co-parenting. But you don't want any of that. I don't know what else I can do. We both know that with the way things are between us, we couldn't go on a trip together, which is why I can't extend an invitation to you. Our children are going to have multiple unique experiences with each of us over the years that the other won't be able to sharing, and the other is going to feel left out at times. And it does suck, but it's a sad reality of broken family. Please say yes and consider the girls
So
and how much
obviously,
experience
I wasn't going to bring a person who...
how much experience would experience with each of us over the years that the other won't be able to share in, and other is going to feel left out at times. Yeah, sorry. Please consider the girls and how much this experience would mean to them. I think it would be really unfair to deny them this experience. Every kid's dream is going to Disneyland, and this isn't just a regular Disneyland experience. It's they're good kids and they deserve the blessing that's come their way. I thought this was very petty and manipulative on our good sis part. Okay, Nikki, this was not just petty. This was manipulative, right? We're using kids as a weapon. We don't need to do that. You know that them being out of school for 3 or 4 days ain't mean nothing. They're not gonna die. They're not gonna fall behind in the class. Like, yo, 3 or 4 days, and you're not pissed off about 3 or 4 days. You're pissed off that you didn't get an invite. You know, you're pissed off because you didn't get an invite. That is manipulative tendencies. You know what I mean? That's a very manipulative tendency to use a child in that particular way. I don't like that. You know what I mean? Like, I can call out where he's been moving mad, but this for me is very petty. I don't even want to say childish. I just want to say it's it's not how we should be moving. You know, it's not how we should be moving. You know, if your children are there, you know, they're not going to die for 3 or 4 days. Even if they're in year 11, for us, even if they're going to do their, unless they're going to do literal exams in the next few days, unless they're missing exams or it's before exams, then there's no reason for them not to go. Simple as. No matter how old they are, they're not going to die. They're not going to fail. They're not going to, be able to accomplish school. They'll be okay. Yeah, that was weaponizing the kids. Right? That was weaponizing the kids. She said, my point is, I'm not blind to the fact that you habitually jump at every circus that comes to town. Wow. Now the respect is coming. She said, no, 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 no. Let me show you. I've been holding it back. Let me give you full, let me give you full whim. Okay? Let me give you full whim. No, 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 no. Yeah? Mm-mm-mm-mm. Let me give you full whim. Let me let you know and dress you down. Okay? Yeah? They're not gonna die. Look, and I say that because I missed school, and yeah, I had to catch up. I missed what? I think I missed a whole month. I remember I missed a whole month in year 5. I missed a whole month of schooling. Between at 10 years old, I missed a whole month, and it took me a little while to catch up. But you know what it is? It's so funny. I caught up so quick. I was so motivated. I was like, they're not gonna leave me behind, and my parents were like, they're not gonna leave you behind. So please get on your work. You know what I mean? Like, they're not gonna die for a few days. They're not. You know, this point. So she didn't have to do that. She said, which again leaves little to no room for first-time experience when I chose to go out with the girls. We have already been here with dad. The girls continuously remind me they have many blessings and I'm very unfortunate. So my answer is no. So she's blocking it because the kids are telling her that because they're saying we've already gone here with dad, I don't want to do it no more. Yo, let me be real with you. I've been on his neck all day, but this is equally wild. I've been on his neck all day talking about, him not wanting to work hard and da-da-da. I've been shooting him, but this is wild, sis. This is wild. This got nothing to do with the kids and everything to do with how you feel. Nothing to do with the kids at all and everything to do with how you feel. Can't lie to you. Why would you make it about you? You're saying no because you haven't been able to do it yet? Additionally, the education shouldn't come second class, especially one which I've been forced to pay for. Okay, so now she's wielding the I pay for it now. Hey, she has started. She has started I pay for it. She has started I pay for it. She has started that I pay for it. Now she's usurping the power. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she has started it. I pay the bills. I do what I want.
Uses me on a trip like that. Like, that made no sense. And then eventually she used the excuse of.
So then he said, listen, I understand you have some concerns about school and I can speak to their teacher and organize for them to take some of their work with them. Sometimes life experiences like this can teach and inspire children in really impactful ways, but I can make sure they keep up with their schoolwork too. You have also expressed concerns about missing out on the first. Are there any other... Look at... Nah. Nikki's moving mad because, brother, if I have to do all of this and you still moving crazy... Are there any other first experiences you would like to have with the girls that perhaps we could talk about? I'm sure at some point you would like to go on an overseas trip with them as well. I also think there's another reason why us meeting with a counselor who specializes in co-parenting could help with us communicating these kind of things to one another in a relaxed environment and get to a better place of parenting. I really hope you will consider that this Disney trip isn't about who gets to take them first and that there will be many more bucket list moments for you to experience in the future. Beyond our list, there is one big one.
I don't want them missing a few days of school. And I was so heartbroken for.
There's one big one. Where is it? I really hope you consider this. Disney trip isn't about who gets da. Yeah, there's one big one on the kids list, and they aren't at the perfect age for it yet. It's something I don't want to see. I don't see myself ever being able to afford for them, and I really don't want them to miss out. I think it's unfair on the girls to miss out on Disneyland experience. So you see, nah, Nikki bad mind. Nikki has turned into those women that the men be complaining about. Okay. In this moment, let's just be honest. In this moment, Nikki has turned into those women that the men be complaining about on red pill side. Okay, the ones that manipulate their children to use as a weapon. All right, right? Because this shouldn't even be this long. Yeah, this shouldn't. He said, "I think it's unfair to the girls to miss on Disneyland experience. So if you like to take them instead of me, I will ask if they are willing to transfer the trip to you. I'd rather they go with you than not at all. Let me know as soon as
The
possible."
kids that I said you can have the trip, take the trip. Like I don't want the kids to miss out. The whole deal was apparently that she was upset that I was going to get to take them first, so I gave it to her. She didn't want it. She just didn't want me to have it. You know, there's been so many other. I'm just talking about the stuff recently. Like it was my 40th birthday this year, and she's always giving me a hard time about turning 40. It's something she's always, made me feel self-conscious about, and I'm old. And she'd given me a hard time about that at a pickup, not even long before that. And I knew something was going to happen on my 40th where she would try and.
Oh, sorry, I skipped ahead. I got
It's
impatient.
our birthday, one of our birthday, and the kids are at the other house. We picked them up from 3:30, and we have them until 6. And I reminded her. She got back to me the day before my birthday. I'd had a message from a dentist that I'd been to before. About 20 minutes before, I got a message from her saying that a dental appointment had been made for me. And I thought that was strange, and I called them up and told them that it was a mistake, that I didn't book a dentist appointment for my birthday. And they said, "Oh, we're sorry, something must have happened. There's a girl with the same last name as yours who has a dental appointment that day." And I thought nothing of it. And then 20 minutes after that, I get a text from Nikki.
So basically, on his 40th birthday, he's letting you know that Zoe's feeling from her back tooth came out when she's eating lolly. She said it doesn't hurt, but she may end up getting a toothache or too sensitive from coming out. Just wanted to let you know in case she starts getting a toothache during the week. Okay, thanks. I'm planning on taking her to dentist anyway. I'll do it this week. He says, "Hey, it's my birthday this coming Friday. Just wanted to send a quick reminder that I'll be picking up the girls up after school on my birthday and taking them out somewhere until 6 p.m. Thanks. Okay, I booked them in dental appointment after school tomorrow at 5 p.m. Did you want to take them?" Yeah, she's wild for that still. She knows it's his birthday, and he reminded her, and she still booked the dentist on his birthday. She wild for that, can't lie to you. She wild for that. Y'all know she wild for that. Y'all know she wild for that. Okay? All right, she knew she's booking the dentist on the birthday for the kids. Nah, Nikki, what kind of warfare we loading up in here, Nikki? That yo, I shouldn't even laugh. That's wild. That's really mean, because he's basically saying, "Listen, I want to remind you, I'm picking up the girls up, whatever." So that means they've had a previous conversation. Right? They've had a previous conversation. And this is also within the same space and span of the conversation around the Disneyland Paris trip as well. Man, nah, man. Nah. Sis, come on. Okay? Come on. You, come on. We don't have to do that, man. Booking the kids on a dental on the same day his birthday is.
Both the girls have dentist appointments on my birthday, and that I can take them there on my birthday. I didn't even let her know that I knew she had literally just booked it before sending that message, because the notification had came through, and I don't think she would.
So he got a notification. What he's saying is he got a notification before she told him that hour. So when she booked it that Thursday, he had already told her the day before that what? My birthday, I'm going to take the kids out. Man, that's nasty, man. Yeah, that's nasty, man. Come on, Nikki, man. You got to do better than this, Nikki. Okay? You know, I would. He's horrible. I would care less for a man that leaves me. That makes no sense. I have what? Where did you get that perspective that he just up and left her? That's not what happened, please. Okay. Well, he's not saying. Well, he's denying that. He's saying that no, because he got a notification that she just booked it. And he let her know about the two situation on Monday. We now on Thursday.
Would have thought that I would have got that notification, because it was just like, what's the point in even bringing this stuff up? Because it's just, this is kind of how it is. Yeah, this is the sort of that happened throughout our marriage.
Okay, this is a Facebook message. So I don't know. Is this him
as
to
well.
her? He said, you started swearing at me and getting to the point where Lewis was shaking and then tried to make me the villain for comforting both him and Ava through it. You didn't see it, but when you first started screaming, Ava was on the floor and she jumped full on. But even if she didn't, it breaks my heart how often she sees me being screamed at. I mean, just the other day you went ballistic at me in the car for me suggesting you don't hold your phone while we vlog, as it looks distracting on the video, which is no different from you telling me not to say good morning because it sounds lame. You then went on to add all these extra things. I apparently said and meant that were completely untrue, saying that I said you are distracted by your phone all the time and I'm better than you and I'm on your phone less than you, even though I've said countless times I feel I'm on the phone way too much and admitted I'm on it more than you. I honestly couldn't even understand where any of this was coming from.
Nikki, she
Boy.
was like two different people, and that was what I.
So now he's talking about their situation. It's like, I know you love your daughter, but there is nothing that excuses the way that you constantly blow up at me, and also how each time seems to be getting worse. And I don't try and make you blow up. I like to say I speak to you calmly and try my best not to make you blow up the way you do, but I can't say anything whatsoever that doesn't agree with you without you blowing up at me. Until you can see that you have an anger problem, we can't move forward in this relationship. I know you've grown up seeing abuse,
Always struggled with.
so it just seems normal to you, but it's not. I don't want our daughter to grow up seeing that. Oh, okay, so she grew up around abuse as well. Oh, I mean, that makes a bit more sense. That gives us a better understanding. You know what I mean? So she's also been, also been in some past, I'm guessing in her younger days, seen abuse. That doesn't excuse her, but it gives us a bit more understanding of why we are seeing some baby like this then. Okay?
Because there was a version of her that I was just head over heels in love with.
Until you can see that you have an anger problem, we can't move forward in this relationship. I know you've grown up seeing abuse so much that it seems normal to you, but it's not. I don't want our daughter to grow up seeing screaming, swearing, every other little issue as normal. I don't even want her to see it over big issues either. We are adults with the responsibility of teaching this child right and wrong and how to grow up to be level-headed women. I also can't handle it myself either, as I've been shaking, struggling to put words together all day because of it. You made me have a panic attack the other day in a car from it as well. My eyes are still blurry. My body's shaking as I write this from the way you've made me feel. Yes, I'm a sensitive man. That's who I am. It's who I always have been and who I always will be. When you met me, I was sensitive and emotional man, and apparently that's one of the things that made you fall in love with me. When I met you, you were the same. You were slow to anger and soft-spoken, though disagreements.
And then there was a version of her that I felt like I didn't know. And
You know why she changed her behavior? She had enough. She said she trying to get an upgrade. She trying to get rid of that relationship. She been trying to be out. This is 2016, by the way. Because she's been like this for a long time. Yes, I'm a sensitive man. When I met you, I never in a million years thought you would begin to blow up at me like you do. I'm not going to continue to let my heart turn to stone and just be treated like this anymore. You say I'm bored of life, and this is my way to get away. In actual fact, I've been trying my ass off for the past few years to make this relationship work, and there is nothing more I want more, nothing more I want than to make it work. No matter what, no matter how unhappy I've never given up and continue to try because for some reason, I love you and I love our daughter. The last thing I want is for our daughter to be part of a broken home. But the more I will see her witness these abusive outbursts, the more
I never knew when that version was going to come out. And when that version came out, stick around for like a week or so, sometimes longer, sometimes less.
So he said, oh, and you need to stop getting my parents involved in this drama. That's why I stayed at the hotel tonight. I didn't want to involve them as mom had told me she had chest pains and the last time you called her, telling her about all this drama, and it really stresses her out more than she knows, more than she shows. She's old and does so much for us that she doesn't deserve all this extra stress over dumb small things. I also didn't leave you without a phone charger. It was unfair for you to have my dad bring you one. There's always a phone charger in the BMW. You know that well as one in my office. God damn, people got BMWs, we got offices. I thought we were broke. Counselor's number. This is 2016 though, by the way. I'm honestly just so tired of the back and forth, she says. And I know Ava deserves so much better than to see us fight over stupid reasons. I do believe that you have spoilt behavior where you are never wrong and things need to go your way, I'm guessing he's going to say.
And that version had a very violent temper. There was anger problems. And there was a number of times, and I won't talk about all of them, I'll just talk about things that I have documented that I can 100% prove. There was a number of times where she had, hit me multiple times in front of the kids, where she would throw objects at me, objects that would hurt. She would hit me with heavy objects. I've had a lump on the back of my head from being hit with a heavy object. And that was in front of my brother. My brother saw that.
Okay. Now he's going to address the violence. He's going to address the violence. The violent taken by force. Now, on to you getting violent with me yesterday. Ooh. I honestly don't even know what to say about this. I don't know if you had your phone in your hand, the tap, or if it was just your fist, but my head still hurts from, oh, Lord. That's not good. That's not good, Nikki. That's not good. That's not good. That's a dangerous place to be in. That's a dangerous place to be in when we now are putting hands on people. That is dangerous. Oh my days. So you put in any kind of hands on anybody, that is dangerous. Damn. I always say this, emotional abuse usually leads to the physical. You don't get physical without usually the emotional abuse going first. Oh, baby. Oh, baby, that's not good. There is nothing that can ever justify being physically violent with your partner, and you even did it right in front of my brother in the middle of our street for all of our neighbors to see, like some kind of what, nigga. Now wait, hold on, wait. I'm still backing you, but hold on. I felt a little racism come out. I felt a little racism come out here when he said a little world star hip hop. I felt, look, why did you choose world star hip hop? Why didn't you choose YouTube? Why you got to say world star hip hop? Why are we saying world star hip hop? Why you got to say that? I felt a little tinge of coonery. You know what I'm saying? I felt a little tinge of the coonery in there. Huh? You telling me you didn't know any of it? You had to go straight for world star hip hop. I'm going back you. I'm just saying that, I just had to hold you a little bit accountable in that space. You know what I mean? Why did you go for world star hip hop? Just saying. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying that you didn't get abused. You definitely got abused, but I'm just saying, what the frick did you mention world star hip hop? Why not? Yes, the likes of TMZ. Yeah? Why did we jump straight to world star hip hop? Why didn't you say MMA? Why didn't you see a boxing match? Why did you go to world star hip hop, sir? I told you, what did I say to you? I said, when he said, don't bring that ghetto stuff around here, I told y'all, this is your king. Y'all said, no. Y'all said you want to go for white kings. Oh. Now we see it. Where's Cynthia G? Where is Cynthia G? Someone go and bring her. Come and collect her, people. Even I don't say it's World Star Hip Hop. Even me as a black person, this ain't World. I don't say this is not World Star Hip Hop. It doesn't even cross my mind. You understand? It doesn't even cross my mind to say this ain't no World Star Hip Hop. Yeah? Where's Cynthia G? Someone go and tell her that one of her kangs has fallen. Someone go and tell her that their kang dropped his crown. Okay? Alright? Just want to say that. I want to make it very clear. About the same World Star Hip Hop. There wasn't no need. There wasn't no need. That's what I'm saying. Okay? There ain't no need. But that's the whole point. Why is it ratchet? And when does ratchet get applied to black people? No, it's okay when we say it. It's not okay when you say it. You understand what I'm saying to you? We can say it. But you can't say it. You know what I'm saying to you? It's okay when we say it. But it's not okay when you say it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah? It's okay when we say it. It's not okay when you say it. Because now we've got a different perspective. You ain't need to say all that. But I'm going to come back. Because he's been abused. You know what I mean? Okay? He's been abused. That was a racial dig. But I'm going to let it go. Okay? It's a racial dig. But I'm going to let it go. Because you are being abused right now. Okay? All right? We can't not make it a race thing. You know? Because there is a race aspect involved in this. You know what I mean? Okay? So I'm just saying. Okay? I'm just saying that we can't dismiss that. I'm not giving her a pass. It's not about giving her a pass. But it's about understanding that in amongst as I'm reading it, I have to, whoop! You had time to type that. You need to say, you know what I'm saying to you? I'm just saying. Okay? So I'm just bringing a little race into it because there's a little race thing into it. There is. Okay? All right? A little microaggression was put into that little part there. That's what I'm just trying to say. Okay, I told you he ain't gonna let a little black girl have a little feminine energy around here. She gonna work. But anyway, jokes aside, let me get back to seriousness. I think that is the most you've ever disrespected me in my life, and over what? I honestly don't even know where you pulled that excuse about me saying anything about Sarah from. It's like you wanted to explode so bad that you wanted to believe I was saying something horrible and subliminal behind what I was actually saying, and you just exploded. Honestly, you scared me. I felt scared like I did back when we were going through that horrible period in our relationship. I don't want to ever feel like that again. Brea, whoa, brother. So this is not the first time. Okay? This is not the first time, baby. This is not the first time, baby. Brother, this is not the first time, bro. You've been being abused for a little while, bro. Like the first time you were in a relationship. Now, what does that mean? Are you saying this has happened before? Or are you saying that this is... Okay, explain that. I felt scared. I did like when we were back in the day, back when we were going through that really horrible period in our relationship, and I don't want to feel like that again. I don't want our daughters to witness... hold on, let me see if I can witness... anything like that. Ava's so sweet and innocent. Hopefully. Hold on.
Very few people knew about this. I didn't want people to know about this stuff that I was going through. My parents knew about it because they had seen it.
So this is 2018, by the way, guys. Witness affected by seeing us arguing in the car the other day, and then when we got home and and his voices got loud about something she thought we were arguing, and she got really upset and kept telling us, "Stop it, boys, stop it." And then when was over me and him were joking about something and being loud, she got really upset and kept saying the same thing again. She's obviously really affected by it, and I felt horrible, and I'm sure you do as well. That's why I didn't come home last night and didn't feel safe being around you when you've been like this in the past. It's like you're a ticking time bomb, and I didn't want to risk any more fighting in front of Ava or, God forbid, violence. I think you need to speak to someone about your anger issues, because the way you bottle things up and explode is not good for anybody. I want to work this out. I want to move forward with this, but I feel like the only way we can do this is if you stop with this age-old What was I saying? Age old argument you're always having. Brother, you put the thing there. We can't even see that, bro. You know what I mean, family? Like, I love the thing you're doing there, but brother, man can't see that, read, but I can't read that through the lens of the YouTube thing in that. You get me? Let me put it this way and see. Okay, age old argument you always having with and always find a way to. Charlie, you did not make this easy.
On different occasions. My brother knew about it because he had seen it once, and her sister Paula knew about it because I would go to her asking for help. Nikki had been through a lot growing up. And I don't know. I don't know if that's a result of it, but that was an excuse that I would.
I don't want to fight anyone for the Ava, God forbid violence. I think. Hold on. Let's make this clearer so you can see it, guys. Sorry. But you brought up things this way. It's not good for anybody. I want to work this out. I want to move forward from this, but I feel like the only way we can do this is if you stop this age-old argument that you're always having with me and always find a way to deal with your anger so that we don't go through the same thing we did a year ago all over again. Because I don't want that, and I know you don't want it either. We have a lot of love in our life and amazing things worth fighting for, not fighting about, and I want us to be happy, Jamie. And she said, and she admitted, and she said sorry. Ooh, Jamie, she said sorry for hitting.
There were points in our marriage where I was very scared of her. I was walking on eggshells, and it wasn't scared of her like I thought she could kill me. Like what
she hit him, guys.
Women experience when they experience domestic violence.
Oh, Chale, you not put down the message. How are we supposed to see that, bro? If you're going to take out the message, bro. So just look here, guys. Look, I apologize for hitting you. There's no excuse for that. I'm sorry. Didn't know how much I really miss you lately. Yeah, can't lie. Can't lie. I can't lie. It's looking techie. I can't lie. It's looking techie. Yo. That's mad. Can't lie to you. I can't even make a joke about that. That's mad. I'm sorry. You know, I've been bantering a little bit way through, but now I gotta be serious. That is nasty behavior. And it couples in with the manipulation of the kids. And, you know, I guess not the not working aspect too, because now we can tie it all in a little bit. There was a lot of manipulation in this relationship. There was a lot of manipulation in this relationship. You know, there's a lot of manipulation. That is nasty. Okay? That's nasty. That's a shame. You know, I just think to myself that to go through that is devastating, because before we get to DV, there has to be an emotional break. They have to emotionally break you. Before you get to physically throwing things and there is usually emotional damage that happens first. That's real sad. You know? That's really sad. That's not looking good at all. It's not looking good at all. Yeah, that's nuts. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's nuts. You know, I just think to myself, I hear you, Banter Bay, but a tantrum should never lead to someone putting their hands on you. The fact we're calling something a tantrum to lay hands on somebody is incorrect. And I want to be gentle with the way I'm correcting what you're saying. That is not a tantrum. A tantrum should not lead you to putting hands on somebody. That's got nothing to do with tantrum. That is to do with a loss of respect, but also as well abusive behaviors, right? So whatever her reasoning is, unfortunately, that is abusive behavior. To you want to put your hands on someone and we're having to, now see that part. And she may be, listen, whether she was provoked or not, makes no difference. Makes no difference. Once you start hitting someone that you call your partner, that you say you're in love with, yeah, we've got a big problem. We've got a big problem. You know? I mean, listen, I'm not excusing cheating or anything like that, but it would have been easier for you to cheat than to do this, because now this tells us there's unresolved anger issues that have now led you to even putting your hands on somebody. How can we trust this won't happen again? How can we trust? You get me? Like, if this was a man, I would be telling her to run, restrain an order, and don't ever look back. You get what I'm saying to you? I would be saying, get a restraining order and run. Like I said about Gunplay and Von Shay Taylor, I want to see her run. I don't want to see her look back. I want to see Von Shay Taylor. I want to see her in the hills. Right? So I can't call it a tantrum, unfortunately. I think we have to call it what it is, sis. Yeah? I appreciate you sharing that thought, but I think we have to keep it real. You know, this is real, you know? Of course I was making jokes earlier on. Of course. We hadn't reached that point. We hadn't reached that point of the show just yet. Once we reach the point where it's serious, I'm going to be serious. Before that, I'm going to make my jokes. You know what I'm saying? But when it gets to the serious part, then we can be serious about it. There's a time in the season. You know? So yes, she assaulted him. It's abusive. You know, we've seen some manipulative behavior with using the kids. We do have to have a real conversation about the fact that that is really bad to be in that situation. Really bad. That's you know, that's bad. I don't think it's selective, man. I'm not even angry. I think it's not even selective, but I think you need to pause for a second. I want you to pause for a second, Banter Babe. Pause for a second. Regardless of the age, pause for a second. They were in a committed relationship. They end up having kids. They were in love with another. They grew up in the same church. This situation where it turns to violence shouldn't be happening. I think we can separate that. So I want to make it clear so that you understand, because what you're trying to do is conflate, and there's no need to conflate the age and what's happened here. This is a domestic violence situation, and we don't need to conflate that at 25 and 18. This is not one of those situations. She was of a legal age, and whether I like it or not, she was of a legal age to get married, and she was of legal age to be in a relationship. That, unless he was abusing her, we're in a situation now where she has, in fact, been in a position where she's been DV'd him. Do you see what I'm saying to you? So I get you may be outraged, but I want you to slow down, babe. Slow it down. Okay? Slow it down. Slow it all the way down. You cannot dismiss what has happened here due to 18 and how you feel and how I feel. Slow it down. Otherwise, you'll miss. Okay? I do understand the age. You may not like it. It may be a big gap for you. I understand, you know, right? 25 is a bit more grown than 18. I understand that too. Okay? I get that. But we're seeing this later on in the relationship. This wasn't at the time of the 18. She was older than that. Okay? So... okay. But anyway, let's keep it going.
Scared of her, like I thought she could kill me, like what women experience when they experience domestic violence. But it was a feeling of humiliation. I felt so small because I felt my fist clench, and I just left the house.
So he says here, Maybe excited. I'm married yet. I'm married yet. I feel so lonely, and I wish I had a partner who actually gave a crap about my dreams and goals. But do you see me yelling at you or abusing you for it? The only things we talk about are your interests. I asked you about makeup, the Kardashians, shopping, memes on Facebook, things that would interest me. If they didn't interest you, just an excuse to talk about you. But when do you ever show genuine interest in anything that's important to me? I'm not saying this is a threat. I'm saying this with fear and disgust that we are at a point, but I know if things continue to go the way they do and you continue to get physical with me and scream and swear at me the way you do, I know eventually I'm going to snap and hit back. I'm determined to never do anything so despicable. I owe it to Ava to never be a man who does that. A partner is supposed to make you better person, not the opposite.
I was gone for a few days. She ended up saying she would go to marriage counseling after that. And thank God I never felt like that again. But I feel like almost just the scarier feeling was when times like that happened again, I just kind of, I didn't feel the emotion. I felt small. I felt powerless. I felt humiliated. I felt like I wasn't a real man. And so when she was coming to the house being violent and making serious threats, and there was other threats made, got to the point where I had to install security cameras all around my house. And the house that I used to live in, it had panic buttons. It was in a bougie area, and there's a security guard office down the road. But I didn't feel safe, and I went to seek a protection order against her. And that was one of the hardest things I ever did, because I felt like I was betraying her, because I constantly just made excuses for why she had the issues that she had, why she would just have this uncontrollable anger.
Hold on, what did you say?
I constantly just made excuses for why on the road. But I didn't feel safe, and I went to seek a protection order against her. And that was one of the hardest things I ever did, because I felt like I was betraying her, because I constantly just made excuses for why she had the issues that she had, why she just had this uncontrollable anger.
Nah, brother actually took out a restraining. Man actually took out an. Oh. Ooh. Baby, that's a tough one right there, you know. Man, I had to take out a whole restraining order against her, you know. Ooh, baby. That ain't it. That ain't it. Damn. That's how deep it's got to. That's crazy. That's tight.
And I felt like she couldn't help it. I felt like there was two Nickis, and I felt like I was punishing the Nikki that I still cared about because of what the other Nikki did, which just sounds crazy when I say it like that, but that's kind of how I rationalized it. But I knew that I needed to protect myself. So I went to court to seek a protection order, and I was still protecting her at the time. I requested that the doors be closed when I spoke to the judge. I requested that my name not be on the court, the court ledger, because I was worried, what if somebody who knows who I am is in there and this all gets out? And someone did recognize me in that courtroom, and they saw me holding family violence papers somehow. And they went on the internet and they said that I was there holding family violence papers. People came up with the assumption that I must have been there defending myself because she wasn't in the courtroom. But it was the other way around. And I got forced to the point where I had to talk about it, and I still didn't want to throw her under the bus. And I worded it, and I said I've never been to court to defend myself, which was the truth, because I wasn't the defendant. But I know it was dishonest. I didn't want to throw her under the bus, but I also didn't want people thinking something of me that wasn't true. So I said that I was never there to defend myself. And my lawyer at the time was telling me to sue this girl, but realistically, I don't think she had anything to sue her for. And the amount of money that goes into defamation cases, it wasn't worth my time. So I left it. But that's one of the rumors that I've worn over the years. I've worn the cheating rumors. I've worn the abuse rumor. And when the cheating rumors really, really got worse and worse, and I really got to the point where I felt like, you know what, I need to stand up for myself. I was fighting to be in my kids' lives. And going back and forth with her on the internet would not have helped that. So I had to choose, do I care about my kids, or do I care about my ego, my career, and my reputation? And I'm going to choose my kids any day of the week. So I wasn't going to come out and say anything that could have affected my ability to be able to be a 50-50 dad, which is all I've ever wanted. I've always thought it was important, regardless of what my relationship with their mum is like. I've always thought it was important for them to have a mum, because they love their mum, and I know that she loves them. And to this day, I would love to be able to co-parent with her. I've offered time and time again to pay for us to have family counseling sessions where we talk to someone who specializes in co-parenting. And the way things have been with her just seeking so much control over my life for so long, and the abuse that I've experienced, the control, it needs to change. I don't know how to change it. And I've tried everything I feel that I can try. I've sought help through the legal system. I've sought help through counseling. I've sought help through God and the church. Girls are thriving in the school that they're in now, but it is private. I need to be able to keep these payments up, and I'm stressed because I know I can't continue living this way. And I just want to be able to give them the best life that I possibly can. So this is where I'm at. This is what I've been going through for so long. This is why I haven't seemed like myself, because I've been in survival mode for years. My self-esteem has just completely crumbled. I've lost sense of who I am outside of being a father. And I'm just trying to figure out how I can move past all these obstacles that have just constantly been thrown at me. And from now on, I'm going to start posting more honest content about what I'm going through. You know, the stuff that I have been posting with the kids, the family stuff, that's real. That's us. That's the real us. But there's another side of my life, which has been the harder side.
You know, it's quite interesting because I've given him a bit of smoke as well and everything. But, you know, I think, you know, the situation, you know, I think the situation here is that, you know, him going through the situation, he hasn't spoken until now. I think that's what's really so deep about it. You know, the guy's waited and waited and waited and waited. He's been sitting on it. He's been made a villain. You know, people have done videos. I've done a video. I mean, I didn't do a video on the cheating thing because I didn't pay attention to that, to be honest. But you know, he's been holding on for a very long time, and I want to be fair to him. You know what I mean? Like, as much as I've said a lot of things about it, you know, I think as much as I've said a lot of things about it, I think the reality of the situation is that, you know, when I look at this situation, he has taken his time and waited till an appropriate time after the marriage, divorce has passed, and you know they've done the settlement in the courts as legal. You know, I think the reality is that to hold on to something for that long and not share your truth is very difficult. You know, I commend him for doing that. You know, because I mean, me personally, I might have shut it down. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I might have shut it down. I would have shut it down from early dot. Yeah? And I probably would have shut it down, but then my lawyer probably would have said, listen, let's not shut it down. Just don't say anything yet until it's passed. But yeah. You know, and I just think to myself, that this is painful for the brother, you know? I think it's painful that the brother's gone through this. It's painful that he's having to experience this. And when men actually go through DV, you know, it can be very hard to identify or even have empathy for. Because as a man, me personally, you know, part of me is like, you're a man, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see what I'm saying to you? So it's like, for me personally, it's like, it's tight, you know? I don't know. It's one of those ones there. It's tight to go through that, you know what I'm saying? So, you know? So I think personally, it's painful to go through that, man. Painful. And I think me personally, like I said, I've gone through a situation where I felt like the person was trying to control me. You know, where the person was trying to control me, the lady I was in a relationship with was trying to control me, and you don't realize how quickly the walls can shut on you because if you're trying to hold a frame where you have healthy communication, the person who's holding healthy communication oftentimes takes a few hits. You know, and it can be very difficult. It can be very difficult to not want to retaliate or, you know, get toxic too. You know, like when I was seeing it, I was like, blood, I honestly can give you the toxicity that you want. You want a toxicity? You know, I can do it. You know, so honestly, I can give it a toxicity, you know. So, Yeah, I think that's that. I understand why he didn't want to go all out like that. Do you know what I mean? I think the final. I'll end on the final clip. You know, that clip that he provided, because he provided us a clip.
But this is it. This is where we're at.
Calm down.
Out of the house, Nikki. Please leave. Please leave. Please leave the house, Nikki. Please leave the house.
Look at you.
Please leave the house. Please leave the house. This is violence. You've got the kids in your hands. Leave the house right now.
This is exactly what he wanted.
Leave the house right now.
This is exactly what
Leave
he
the
wanted.
house.
And look, he's getting video
Leave the
evidence.
house.
He's been planning this.
Leave the
He
house.
has been planning
Leave the
this
house.
From day one.
Leave the
From day
house.
one.
Leave the house. The children don't deserve to see this.
So this is a story he said. Before we go any further, he's actually put a story here. So I'm going to read the story, what he says. Yeah? The day Nikki came to the house and attacked me in front of my mom and refused to leave for 3 hours, Nikki had just been on top of me, punching me because I told her that I wouldn't speak to her until we could have a calm conversation. Our counselor had told me we needed to take a 2-week break from talking until things calmed down. Nikki was furious. I was asking for 2 weeks space from talking to her about anything other than the kids and showed up at the house demanding I talk to her, which I refused. My mum had taken a child to the kitchen to get her a snack to try and distract her. Nikki can be seen literally snatching her out of the mum's arms. Nikki was accusing me of being a reason she's acting violent, and that somehow I wanted this and I wanted a reason to leave her. Now, whenever you hear someone say you're the reason for making me do this way, you already know you're dealing with somebody who's a manipulator, and they're abusive in doing so. You know, when they do that, because honestly. I think to myself, that, I think when you see the conversation with, when you see the evidence of this video, it's so painful. But and I think someone said it too. Yes, it is. It's abusive men that say that all the time, and it's true. If you've ever dealt with an abusive person before, you'll know the kind of rhetoric, and the kind of language and the kind of thoughts that are put there. You know what I mean? And I think when you really deep it, the situation, that you see that our good sis here, even in this video clip, slapping the phone out of his hand, literally, screaming and shouting, and you can hear her, raising her voice and everything like that as well. And it's like, you made me do it is wild. You know what I'm saying to you? You made me do it is wild. I don't think you can set someone up, wildcard. I'll be honest with you. I don't think he can set her up, and I'll tell you why. Because she has already apologized for hitting him before. There is no setup. You get what I'm saying to you? You feel what I'm saying to you? I think it's very much it's a similar. So we're not aware of her behavior. Do you get what I'm saying to you? Like, if I record you, I can't now be the manipulative one because I'm recording you while you're doing what you're doing. You get what I'm saying to you? I don't think that's a fair summation to make. In that respect. But yeah.
I think you need to take responsibility. Okay, yeah, all right.
Leave the house.
You guys will never see my kids again. That is not.
And then when you say things like, you'll never see my kids again, and like you can see that you're not even being forced to stay, they're allowing you to leave, you know what I mean? That should let you know straight away in the aspect that's the manipulation we're talking about. Right? That's the manipulation we're talking about. It's like, and we know that manipulation exists because when he released the text messages, in the text messages, he said that Disney trip, we saw how she manipulated. You know?
I will never see my kids again. Ever.
That will not happen. Leave the house.
Look at you guys.
Leave the house.
Look at you guys.
Leave the
That's
house.
hilarious. Look.
Leave the house.
Whatever.
Leave the house, Nikki. Leave the
This
house.
is exactly what you wanted, Jamie.
Leave the
This
house.
is exactly what you wanted. You're actually.
Leave the house.
exactly what you wanted.
And this is what I've been putting up with for years. Violence, all of this. And the kids have to see it. That's the sad thing. And never taking responsibility for any of her actions. Caught out trying to cheat on me, and then she acts like this. Instead of saying sorry, instead of trying to make it right. I'm sorry, Mom. You okay?
No, I'm not. Okay.
Where's your phone? I'm actually calling the police.
Just leave it for now.
Yesterday, Nikki said,
So it's a shame, you know. The mum was crying. I felt bad, man, because the mum's obviously put a lot of effort into, you know, developing a relationship with the children. They love, you know, Nikki as well, and the dad too, loved them as well. So it's sad to see that point of view, you know. And as much as I've made the jokes about, you know, being white and black, you know, at this point, you know, nobody wants to see their grandchild in a situation like this and then see their daughter-in-law with their son or their son-in-law with their daughter, like in a situation like this. Right? Now he didn't make the court make him the sole provider of the children. It's 50-50, you know, custodial and everything as well. So it's just, yeah, it's a situation, you know. Yeah. It's painful to see that, man. Painful to see that. So the children gonna have it, man. But the thing is, because he's documented it, it's happened over the course of years. And like, this has been coming. You know? This has been coming. It's been happening over the time. You know? It's been happening over time. And he's been documenting it since 2016. So if he really was trying to destroy her, documenting it since 2016, not just this year, but since 2016. Sorry, 14, that you've been documenting the abuse that's been happening. I think it's fair to say, let's give him a bit of the benefit of the doubt. You know? Let's give it the benefit of the doubt. Yeah? Someone asks, why did he keep badgering her to leave the house over and over again? Because I don't want you in the house. Like, why else? I don't want you in the house. I don't want you in the house right now. Right? And because also as well, because they had spoken to the council said they shouldn't speak for the next 2 weeks. He was trying to say, give us space. He didn't want to talk. She had just been hitting him as well before this, you know. And he didn't want her in the house. You know what I mean? That's the simple reason why. So, I mean, look, I personally, I'm never going to be mad. If somebody documents what abuse they've gone through, I'm not going to be mad if they document it. If that's what you've been going through over the time, it's the same thing with Von Shay Taylor and oh boy, Von Shay Taylor and Gunplay. She had recorded instances where he had attacked, punched a TV. She had been like, do you know what I mean? Like, am I supposed to say that, you know, oh, she's doing it to try and manipulate him into doing something stupid? This doesn't make sense. Do you get what I'm saying to you? Like, you ain't got a choice. I think it's so funny. You want him to show some level of emotion or whatever, or show some level of anger. But as a man, we can't do that. He's chosen the only route he can take. because any ounce of showing any form of anger, frustration gets read as aggression. He can't afford to show that. You get what I'm saying to you? Like, he can't afford to show that energy, because immediately it'll be read as aggression. You know, as a man, you know that in this instance you do not win. Even if he started restraining her, somebody would read it differently. So as a man, you got to be very careful in this situation, because you do not win. You got a very small margin. Even if you were to grab her hands and say, "Stop hitting me," all they will hear is, "Why is he grabbing her so tight? Why is he all on her? He must have done something to her. That's why she did it." It's like, you can't win. So that's why we have to be. That's why he's done it the way he's done it. And of course, listen, you know, at the end of the day, I'll be honest with you. If I go back into Facebook, I can see all my messages. Now, I don't have any abusive situations that have happened. But I can go back into Facebook. I've got MSN still there, because on my computers, probably not this one, but back home. You know what I mean? All of those things, because your computer saves things like that. Do you know what I mean? So, you know. But I understand some people can't see it. I understand some people can't see it, you know. You know. I understand some people can't see it. And he was going to, actually, Grace, he was going to call the police, and the grandma said, "No, don't call them." He literally was like, if you hear it, he says, "I'm going to call them." If you listen to carefully.
And never taking responsibility for any of her actions. Caught out trying to cheat on me, and then she acts like this. Instead of saying sorry, instead of trying to make it right. I'm sorry, Mom. You okay?
No, I'm not. Okay.
Where's your phone? I'm actually calling the police.
Just leave it for now.
Yesterday.
If you heard him correctly, he said, "I'm going to call the police," and she said, "No, leave it for now." So he really was going to call the police. You know? So, yeah, he was going to call the police. But he, like I said, he really got a restraining order. Like, there ain't no more he can do. He got a restraining order, everything, you know? You know? And that's very true. That's very true, Tache, as well. That's why you got to get out, because you can end up becoming that person as well. You know, as well. So, you know, that aspect too. So, but anyway, let's leave it there. You know, let's leave it there. We've done 3 hours, 20 minutes. It's been a deep one. But make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. It's crazy out here. You know, some people are living in a simulation. I appreciate y'all. Still up, so loaded.